Attention, please. Eastern Airlines Flight 19, now ready for departure.
Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Express monorail. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're entering the vacation kingdom of the world.
There's enough land here to hold all of the ideas and plans we could possibly imagine. We call it Epcot. Will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow.
Welcome to another episode of the Retro Disney World Podcast, taking you back to the vacation kingdom of the world, the way it was, and the way it is in your memories.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Retro Disney World Podcast. This is episode number 106, Outside the Bubble. 196,939,857 square miles. You'll understand what that is in a moment. But sitting in with me, as always, recording this evening, Mr. JT Kuzier coming in. How you doing, JT?
I'm great. Still on summer break, enjoying it, and excited for this new venture we're taking.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a departure on this episode. We'll talk about it in just a short few minutes. And coming in, still in the small office, still looks like a janitorial closet, Mr. Hal Bowers. You got a lot of those nice black and yellow bins behind you, so still sorting through them.
Aloha, yes. I mean, we had over 100 of those in our collection from when we had to put things in storage. So,
and you moved with the large ones, not the little mini ones that they sell at Lowe's now that are about 4 inches, right? Moved.
I saw those things, and I can't imagine what you could even put in those.
Some pencil erasers, maybe.
Yeah, it's great for school supplies. Put it in your kid's backpack.
You can use it next to the mini bucket that they make too. Have you seen that? It's all
I have
4.5 inches of it. Yep. And coming in from the city of brotherly love, Mr. Brian P. Miles. How you doing tonight, Brian?
Happy 250th birthday, America. I mean, we were at the epicenter here in Philadelphia. I'll be talking a little bit about what that was like tonight, just as we recap our summer so far. But yeah, great to see all of you, and let freedom ring.
Yeah. So this is a departure episode. A lot of you wrote in and like our banter and different conversations that we do that are kind of off the Disney World topic, although I'm sure we will slide into that this evening. We don't have listener mail because this is probably going to generate listener mail. Unless, JT, do you have anything in the mailbag?
I do, but I as much as I feel like we're going to have a long episode just chatting. So, I mean, if you want, I have it. If we run out of steam and need it at the end, we could do that, or I'll save it for the next episode.
Well, I think we should just mention on the topic of listener mail, instead of reading them, how throughout at the end of our last episode, hey, we just, we were talking about something in our last episode where we went off on our flip phones and our Blackberries and went on our cell phone history tangent for 15 minutes.
Joey Chitwood.
Joey Chitwood.
Mr. Pibb.
Which we got
Mr. Pibb.
We got a great email on that for the next episode, but Hal threw it out there that, we occasionally get people say, hey, you guys should just do an occasional episode that's not on a specific Disney topic, just kind of shooting around.
Yeah.
And we asked, and I think we got 30 different emails of suggestions of things, and some really good ones that we're absolutely going to do.
Yeah.
That are, one step removed from our normal content. So tonight is, it's the middle of summer, and we did our summer vacations. We've all been somewhere, and we thought it would be fun to hop on and kind of talk a little bit about that and America's birthday and some other stuff that just has been going on. But really, I know what you did this summer, we want you to know too.
Exactly. We'll talk a little bit about that. So the 196,939,857 square miles. That is everything but Walt Disney World, gentlemen. On the Earth. We've done some high level calculations with the retro computer here. And that's what we've come up with. So that's the subline or subtitle of this episode. You could say.
Took his Atari 800 3 days and 4 cassettes to give us that answer.
Exactly, but we've got it. We've got it. So we're not talking about the 43 square miles. We might dip our toes into it, just as we dip our toes into the 196,939,857 other square miles.
At least one of us visited there during their vacation, so
that's true.
We will definitely dip our toes.
We have to dip our toes. Oh goodness! Yes, all 4 of us went places, so we can spin the wheel of random on the topic of going to Florida. JT, you went there, so why don't you fill us in on your little jaunt down there? And you had some. You were on a boat at one point too.
Yeah, so we the past 2 summers we have been cruising. I was a cruiser off and on, starting when in my 20s, and I don't know. I've only done Carnival, but we've done I think like 8 cruises now. And so we did one last summer, and the kids liked it, so we did another one this year. This year, we decided to cruise out of Miami, which usually our Florida trips entail a lot of different things now, because not saying we're sick of Disney, but like there's just more to Florida than Disney. If you're, stuck there in that bubble and you want to go see stuff, there's things out there. So we thought we'll go down and then we'll cruise out of Miami this time. So we loaded up the station wagon. We made the trip to Central Florida.
It's metallic P, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually silver, but we made it.
You think you hate it now, but wait till you drive it.
Yeah, 71 south the whole way down. And if you guys, we talk the whole time on our trips, off and on. And I think it was on the way down like 3 Buc-ee's visits on the trip down, because you see a Buc-ee's, my kids are like, let's stop. And you've been a lot when my kids are wearing Buc-ee's T-shirts when they visit a Buc-ee's that they didn't get the T-shirt at.
Can we talk about Buc-ee's for a minute? Because I got to go to one for the first time.
Yeah, chime in.
Oh, yeah. I hit the one in Jacksonville at one point, so...
All right, let's talk about it, because
right.
I got mine on my summer in Texas in 2019, and we made a point of stopping at my first Buc-ee's when I was in Texas. So
I mean, Buc-ee's, if you get to the basics, it started off as a big Texas thing, gas station, but it's more than a gas station. I mean, there's like 200 pumps,
and gigantic general store. Really,
the store is about the size of a Walmart on a good day.
The key is they do not allow tractor trailers in there. So it's not a truck stop. It's
and there's tons of pumps, like 50 to 60 pumps at the big ones, or something ridiculous.
No, he's right. There were 200. We stopped at one in Tennessee outside of where Dollywood is, and like the numbers went up to like 240 or 225 or something.
Okay,
we were
all right, I stand
away.
corrected on that. They're also known for 2 other things that I recall. It's kind of like an upscale Cracker Barrel almost, but they're known for their
comparison.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then there's the section,
terms of the store.
The store, yeah,
and the cleanliness of their bathrooms.
That is
exactly.
yes.
They are super clean.
The doors go all the way to the floor.
Yep.
Yeah, huge bathrooms. They got indicator lights saying it's red or green. You can go in or not. It's great.
It's like a parking space at Disney Springs. I'm backing into this one.
Yeah.
Closing my door. Gonna be a while.
But the red and green lights actually work at the Buc-ee's bathroom. They don't work well at Disney Springs.
They also have the wall of jerky, or where they have all that beef jerky. Yep. And then they have they're roasting the fresh nuts.
They're cutting the brisket. They're making the tortillas.
Yeah. I got the smoked turkey sandwich. That was not very good.
It is not. That. No, I've gotten that before too. The brisket's good.
I did like the brisket.
The beaver chips.
Oh yeah, the beaver chips. That was a nice surprise.
And the beaver puffs, which are
it's like a corn thing, right?
It's almost like corn pops, but as
beaver
a
nuggets.
Snack. Yeah, beaver nuggets. That's it. And then they also sell the beaver paddle or paddle tail, or it's a giant cinnamon pastry, which is delicious.
Is it like the beaver tails?
It's not identical to the beaver tails at Epcot, because those were like fried. They were more like a funnel cake kind of thing, the beaver tails from Epcot. But these are like a big cinnamon Danish type thing. They're very, very tasty.
The beaver chips, for if you haven't been there, it's just like hand cut, quality potato chips.
What I remember is when I did my 2 winters ago, when I drove back and forth on my winter trip to Florida, which to get all those posters down there that were auctioned off at Retro Magic.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to send them in the mail, so I drove them down myself. And I stopped on the way home at a Buc-ee's. It was like a 10 minutes. I was trying to make time. I had like 12 hours to get to Williamsburg, Virginia that day. So I was like, I'm heading north. Like, I just want to keep going. It's a quick Buc-ee's stop. And a hot brisket on the board. I grabbed a brisket and a Dr. Pepper. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm Jackie Gleason.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper. Make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry. You want something?
Hush puppy, Daddy.
We got no time for that crap.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that's so. Bucky, the other thing too they have there, which I don't know if you guys have run into. You hit the timing just right. There is a walk around Bucky's character.
Oh,
really?
I've seen photos, but I've never met him.
Yeah, one night my kids got their picture with Bucky. He was giving out stickers, the whole thing. It was great.
Does he have a handler like Disney World?
He does.
He does have a handler. Yeah. Okay, all right.
I couldn't believe how many people stopped for selfies with the statue out front. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a steady stream of people coming in and out of the store.
It's like Wally World now, you know? It's like,
well, the viral trend, which I'm not on the TikTok, but my wife is, and she saw people would lay across his arms because he's sitting there, you know, with his arms out.
I saw a girl do that.
So like every stop, you know, my daughter's like, "Can I try it?" I'm like, "I'd rather you not. I don't feel like going to get stitches." You know, partway through the run.
You think Bucky could hold me?
Yeah. So every statue was like, "Let me try it. Let me try it." And then there's
Brian,
a line.
we have
like,
a challenge for you now. When the next time you go to Buc-ee's,
I think I'd just rather have it photoshopped.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then all the like inflatables and like in the sort of vestibule as you walk in, there were all the Buc-ee's merchandise.
Now, Buc-ee's is good for, which I've learned in the last few visits to Florida, a seasonal shirt. They had America 250 shirts, so we all had those to wear.
They'll do Labor Day and Halloween and Thanksgiving, and they do all that stuff. Plus, the fountain sodas. They do their own fountain soda in addition to having other stuff there, like their own flavors and brands. And
Buc-ee's Cola. Mm-hmm.
And their cold case with drinks is like everything you can imagine. Like, it's just an entire wall. But really massive. And so they've become, I guess, a tourist attraction unto themselves. So don't mess with Texas, man.
No, it's almost not worth stopping if you're thinking of your wallet, because I swear every time I stop, not including gas, you're at $50 in that retail store. Just like, let me get some snacks, let me get a drink, let me get a t-shirt, and then, you know, the kids are like, let me get this. It's insane. And granted, you do eat and stuff, but
I saw so much plush go out the door when I was there. It was,
We hit one. We went down to Silver Dollar City a year and a half ago, I guess, for Halloween, like right afterwards, to see the old Osborne family Christmas lights there, and landed on a Thursday night, and we're in Springfield, Missouri. We were just checking into a motel because that's the nearest airport, I think, to where we were going, and I was like, "What's near here?" It was like, we wanted to eat. You don't want to go to Waffle House. There's a Buc-ee's like 10 miles away. It was pouring rain. And I'm like, let's get in the car. Let's go to Buc-ee's. That was like the best dinner we ever had. Because, by the way, there's nowhere to eat there. Like, there's no picnic tables or anything. Like, you're
going to the car.
You're eating on your car, in your car, or taking it back to wherever you're going. But there is no like dining area.
And you cannot use the bathrooms for dining. So even though
I would not recommend it, especially not with this virus going around. So.
That's true.
That could be convenient, though. You just like one-stop shop.
That's good.
A bite. Oh, God. Oh.
Well, you know, after the Buc-ee's on the way, we did. Now, this was current Disney news, and I know we don't dabble in this.
Yeah.
I walked into Wilderness Lodge because they had a deal going. Annual pass holders get, I think, 40% off dinner, and at Whispering Canyon Cafe, if you can handle the. Canyon? Yeah, there's nobody's whispering.
Nobody's whispering. It's Yelling Canyon. Old Yeller.
That's a great deal for 4 of us to eat there. We on our bill.
How'd the place feel, JT?
I walked into the lobby, which is always one of my favorite experiences going to Disney. It's my favorite resort, and it was toasty. I thought, boy, somebody cranked that fire up in the fireplace. And I realized I see a line at guest services. I'm checking, just my social media because I'm waiting for our table, and there's no air at the Wilderness Lodge, as in like no air in the rooms, no air in the lobby. I mean, everywhere was... It was a hot day. It was probably, everywhere was like at least 80, 85 degrees inside, if not worse.
Unbelievable.
And what turned out to be was AC was down resort wide for at least a week off and on. Like it was not serious. Like people were switching resorts, canceling. Disney wasn't giving much info, but we got in there and they had those like 6 foot tall black boxes that blowing air, which sometimes they're air conditioning air. I've seen it places.
Or they spritz water too, like to cool the water.
This was just air. There was no AC air. And they parked us right in front of 2 of them that were oscillating. So every 30 seconds, we just get this.
So we usually use those if there's a flood, if we're drying carpet in one of our buildings.
Yeah.
That's what we use those blowers for. Using them to circulate 80-degree air. I guess it's effective in moving, because moving air obviously cools you even if it's warm, but that is not an optimal environment in which to vacation or dine.
No. And we ate, got the deal, and
you got the clam chowder, right? Or the
I got
heavy
a
pasta?
hot bowl of stew. That was got the heck out of there.
Could you make this chili extra spicy, please?
And then show me to the bathroom.
Yeah, other than that, and I did have a first at Disney. I'm in the gift shop at the Wilderness Lodge in the back there by the coolers, which was actually very cool.
He's sticking his head in it to cool off.
He's trying to cool off. Yeah,
a legit snake running across the gift shop.
I remember you sending us a picture of that.
Really?
I thought it was funny because like the lady working there didn't know what to do, so she's just calling anybody she can. And then I was like, I'm looking at my wife and I go, there's got to be some Florida man that appears in here and just grabs this thing and just deals with it, but it never happened. And some worker came up and just set a box on top of it.
There's another piece of that story, JT, that I do want you to tell, and it's what you said to your wife when you walked into Wilderness Lodge before you realized there was no air conditioning.
What did I say? I don't even know.
You said
they
would never build anything like this today.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
That was kind of towards the end, and my son is there, and he's 7, and he really hasn't spent a lot of time at the resorts as much as I have, and we're by that bubbler that starts off the fountain, which goes out. It goes under the deck. It goes out to the waterfall, and it's the illusion that it goes to the pool. And I'm standing on that deck with him, and I'm looking at this thing, that little bridge, and I'm just like, there's no way Disney would do this again. You're looking at, there's a big headdress, and there's big chairs and a fire. I mean, just that,
immersive experience, right?
Yes,
that just get the whole feeling all over.
I'm just looking at it going like, it would take 10 Imagineers or whatever they're called that do the hotels to do one little area of this. And I feel like they take the same 10 and they do a whole hotel now or something. Like it's very bland in comparison to that. Just that like full themed resort. Yeah. You just look at it and you're just like the best thing I think you're going to see is that new resort, the Lakeside Lodge, which is the dumbest name ever. That's going to be a similar wildernessy type feel. You can see that's what the Wilderness Lodge would look like nowadays, I think.
Which is basically 4 green walls.
And you sent us a picture. It looked like a really vanilla box. Like
it is what it is. But you're just like, you just enjoy those old hotels because I don't think you're ever going to see anything like it again.
I think that the new Poly building has more pizzazz than what you showed me. You know what I mean? It's there's just nothing.
Is that photo that you sent, JT? Is that the old the settlement? What is that thing called?
That's the Hoop-de-Doo building right there.
That's right there.
Literally with the thing right behind.
And what it looks like in the picture he sent us next to it is like you're all familiar if you listen to this show, the Guardian show building in scale to the rest of Epcot.
Oh my God.
That's what that photo he sent us of the new Lakeside Lodge.
And it's painted like go away green too. Like
it's like this off-white color.
I don't know.
So I'm going to say like the best way I can describe it is if you've been to the Hoop-de-Doo and you know where the arcade is or where you'd walk down that path to River Country.
Yep.
Just park that building, the Hoop-de-Doo building, like what literally looks like right next to the DVC tower at Contemporary. And that's what it's this daunting feeling of like it's 3 times the height of the Pioneer Hall building and that. It's just, and I can't help but think either it has the look like, oops, we built this too close. Or like I told you guys, it's like they did it and they go, we don't care. Yeah. It is so, like they could have moved it 100 yards over and it would have been perfect. But it is literally like looming over. Remember that old Disney cartoon, The Littlest House, where the buildings were growing around it?
Everything was bigger and better, for this was the age of progress. Well, do tell. Here I am, completely surrounded by progress.
That's what it's like. It's just comical, like, I don't know. It's very odd.
Think the times they are changing.
Do you remember, Brian, on Dave Letterman when he was really mad at CBS? He would do this thing where CBS, we're not even trying. That's what this is similar to.
Oh, it is.
Remember that.
And if you're there at that DVC, I mean, your room is going to look at the old Crockett's Tavern porch where people used to sip lemonade out of a mason jar. Like that's your view. Oh my God. I mean, you could touch the people there. That's. But anyways, we left Disney property after the non-air conditioning experience, headed to Miami with a driving tour of Palm Beach, Florida, which is quite the location. My wife is a big Lily Pulitzer fan, so we went to the flagship Pulitzer store there, did all that. Yeah. And to the meat of our trip was our Carnival cruise.
If they could see you now out on a friendship cruise, eating fancy food and doing what you choose. I'd like your friends back home to get a good look at the first-rate Carnival cruise that you took. All I can say is, wow, hey, look at where you are. Tonight you're living, wow, just like a movie star. What a fun ship, holy cow. They'd never believe it if your friends could see you now.
The Carnival Horizon out of Miami. And I'm a big, I've only done Carnival. I've looked at other ones, and they're usually good for the 4 of us, the family, the deals, the pricing, all that. And so we got on that boat with, it did have 3 stops. We did the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. And I it's weird about the cruising is it has this like full experience of like everything's included, obviously, other than alcohol. So I don't have to worry about food or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it because, you do have some nice, we'll call them cast members or employees. They really have a dedicated feel to that, like almost like old Disney, like they care about you for that week. And it's just fun with things to do for the kids. That was what was cool about this ship. Out of those 3 stops, I had the highest hopes for Aruba and the lowest hopes for Bonaire, and it was completely flipped.
Interesting, because everybody's like, go to Aruba, but I've heard it's just desolate and dry other than the water. It's like,
I've never seen so many cacti in the Caribbean.
And it's like a constant breeze, right? Just it's always blowing.
I didn't notice much of the breeze. Is more just driving around. I'm like, this place is a dump.
What a dump. Huh? What's that from?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Dumbbell.
Like now, if you go to an all-inclusive or one of those resorts there, I'm sure that's very nice. But we rented a Jeep and we're just driving. I love no rules of these kind of places. The guys tell me where to go. I go, can I just go off road there? He goes, yeah, why not? I was like, okay, because if I do that in Ohio, I'm like
turtle.
Yeah, yes. I'm going to jail. So we did a lot of off-roading there, driving and stuff, but. Bonaire was weird because it was like the what's that word, the dark horse of the trip. You didn't expect much, and you were just like, this is so cool here. They had these like salt mines. They weren't mining salt like Tiana. They were like taking the salt water and they put them into big beds, and then the sun dries it out, and that's how they pull the salt. And,
oh, cool. Oh yeah, I'm looking on Google Map here. Salt mountains too.
Yeah,
wow.
And so that was neat to do. We found a really killer, like, if I describe, like, I have like tiers of beaches I really like. And this was like the biggest beach area I've ever been as far as the water goes. So like you go in the water, it was waist high for at least 500 yards long. and then it was completely clear, and it was just this massive like area that I'm sure was not cleared out naturally, but we're there, and there's these cordoned off areas, and you're like, don't go in there. You know, like if just roped off, it's like overgrowth. You're like, okay, you know, no, don't go in there. Go where it's not roped off and it's clear. Well, I'm sitting there hanging out, whatever. I look out and I see my son, 7 years old, the same guy who was just there, trudging through this do not enter area. And I hear people gasping, oh, that child. And I'm like, get out of there. I'm waving at him. Get out of there. It's like a turtle breeding zone or, you know, something.
He's like Roy Scheider ringing the bell.
Out of the water! Out of the water now! Everybody out! Get out! Get out of there! Get out! Out of the water!
What the hell is that idiot doing?
That's right. And he's, I mean, it's, you know, it's 3 feet of water. He's way out there, and he's looking at me, literally stand there like, what's the problem? And I go, you know, you're giving him the parent face, like, move, get out of there. And, you know, he's the only kid doing this. So we got him out of there, and he didn't do it again. But I'm like, wait. He used it as a shortcut to get to my daughter, who left him in the dust because she's faster, you know, going to the water.
So did you overnight on any of these islands on the ship, or were they all just one day?
One day. And actually 2 out of the 3 were like 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. stays.
Oh, it's a decent amount of time. Yeah.
And now I will say in Curacao, I'm not a soccer person, but World Cup's been going on this summer, and we're in Curacao, and I'm starting to notice something. Like, everybody's wearing a jersey, and we went to a distillery tour, which they make the Curacao, the infamous from the blue is not the only color.
We learned that on your trip.
Yeah, and they make it from the La Raja. That's the fruit they use.
The La Raja.
And so I'm sitting there, and I look at the guy, I go, what's going on? And he goes, oh, this is a huge deal. We're in the World Cup. We shouldn't be. And tonight's the big game at 4. And I go, big game? Like, what do you mean? He goes, oh, we're shutting down early. The island's going to party for a week, you know, especially, and don't even ask if we win. So we had to be on the boat by like 5. And I do it to my wife. I go, we got to get off this island before 4, because we are not getting off this island, you know, whatever it is, a taxi, a car, you know, anything. So we got off the island onto our boat at 3:30. And there was one unfortunate couple, family. They didn't make it.
Really?
They did the pier run, full go. What they do on the cruise ship is they paid you.
Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
Like, they'd be like, the McCartney family, Todd, Amy Conlon, are you here? Call us. And, you know, you start to know, like, oh, so they'd list names and we'd count. Like, there's 5 people in the Jones family. They're not here. So I'm watching, you know, whatever. And that's like a sight in itself, the push off. And we're a foot off the dock, and you see these people running.
Oh, no.
Full speed. And then all of a sudden they just stop. And somebody told them at the port, quit running, because they're not coming back for you.
Yep.
So I could not wrap my head around how your vacation would go. You got 3 more days on a cruise ship, or they miss the boat, and now they're stuck in Curacao without their stuff, and they just basically have to go home.
And it's the World Cup, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, and they have to pay for their own way to get home too. Yeah. Like, so for me, they told us, I was asking questions of the workers, and that they go, sometimes, honestly, instead of going to Miami or the next port, they go, sometimes it's easier if you just fly home. Yeah. So I go, you could be on your cruise ship having lobster that night, because that's what we ate that night, lobster tail and steak. Or you'd be in Cleveland that night instead, because you screwed up. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Where were you headed? Were you headed to Bonaire?
No, that was Curacao, and then we were done. Like, we had 3 sea days to get back to Miami, so that was it.
So it wasn't like they were going to Aruba and they could catch like a little puddle jumper or something like that.
No, that was it. And
so they just lost out. Yeah, they're like, well, we're flying back to Miami.
And then what's it cost to get tickets the same or next day from Aruba to, you know, wherever they live? Or
they might still be there.
Yeah, right? So we did that. Now, I will say, on the way back, we did a little Miami, and Miami was a little crazy because of the World Cup. Like, we did weird stuff. Like, I like seeing, like, honestly, like, when I go to these cities, my angle is always like, I want to see a movie filming location. I want to see something kind of famous, you know, just weird stuff. I don't like to go to like the touristy stuff and wait in line and all that stuff. I'll do a museum, but so we did some driving around Miami, took in some different stuff, and the main drag, I forget the road where like a lot of like Scarface stuff was filmed. Johnny Versace's house. that whole road was closed down for the World Cup celebration. So I was like, I'm not parking and walking up here. So we'll catch that next time. The final leg of our trip, which obviously was driving home, but we decided to drive through the Everglades. And I have not been. How, you're a Floridian. Have you done much Everglading?
I mean, I've done Alligator Alley several times.
Okay.
Which kind of cuts through the Everglades.
So we did, I'd have to look on the map, honestly, but we drove right past, which again, I didn't know it was called this. I thought it was just a joke name, legit Alligator Alcatraz. Like there was legit signs. like a road sign. I was like, oh, I thought it was like a nickname, you know? So we're driving that and we pull off, and of course we're in the Everglades and my daughter has to use the restroom. I go, Lily, there is nowhere, like, unless you're going in the woods, and I'm not letting you do that because, you know, we're the Everglades.
Yeah.
We find a spot, we pull off, and I go, it's raining. I'd love to go see because there's a little pond here and there. I love seeing gators. It's just like one of my favorite things of being in Florida. And I see these people waving and swatting, like, not to the point like, oh, there's like a fly buzzing them. Like, I go, something's wrong with that guy. He's got, you know, mental problems. He's flailing and waving his arms around. Well, it turns out, so we left. Like, I don't know what his problem is. We're getting out of here. So we go to the next stop, and I learned about the Everglade mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I've been to, we have a cottage in northern Ontario, mid-northern Ontario, and mosquitoes at night, you don't go out. But it was broad daylight, and it just kind of sprinkled, and like that, my wife and daughter ran to the bathroom, and I went to yell something to them. As I rolled down my window, it was like 50 mosquitoes flew in the car. And I'm like, what? And I put the window up real fast, and then like 100 more hit the window, and they're like there. And I go, what is going on?
They're like small birds.
It was just the amount of them. And then you're, you know, Googling. I guess the Everglades is one of the worst spots in North America for mosquitoes.
They have tsetse flies down there the size of eagles. Really. In the evening, I would stand in front of my hut and watch in horror as these giant flies would pick children off the ground and carry them away.
Yeah. So that was it. We got out of the Everglades, went back to my parents' place in Leesburg, spent a day or two there, and then drove home. And that was our big trip.
Yeah. So you definitely crossed Alligator Alley. And I'll tell you, the way it's set up now is so much nicer than it was back in the 90s. Because when I was in art school, I would drive my friend who lived in Miami Beach down and over, and it was just a 2-lane road.
So 75 wasn't there.
I mean, you had 70.
I will say what we were on was 2-lane most of the way.
You had 75 down to Alligator Alley, which then cuts across horizontally. There was no place to stop. The young lady that was driving with it, she had a pee. She just pulled over to the side of the road and kind of opened up the door and squatted out of the side of the door and pulled her skirt over. Like you said, you're not going in the woods. You're not going anywhere. And we absolutely saw gators on the side of the road at that point.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, the gators are. Yeah, it's and now I'm so bummed because I really have this dream, which, you know, I don't know if I want to do one of the airboat rides.
You have to do that. You got to do that
fun.
one time.
Yeah, but now my wife will not do it because of the mosquito experience. She's like, I'm not sitting in those mosquitoes.
So the key is do it on one of your winter trips.
Are they better?
Yeah, well, there's not as much of that going on out there. I mean, you're in the dead of summer. You're getting mosquitoes, and I didn't have any of that in fact, in my winter trip, I think I had long pants on. It was kind of chilly in my Everglades airboat tour. So if you do the middle, when you do your spring break trip or something, you'd probably have a better experience.
I went on one of those airboat trips, and they went around and they took pictures of everybody, you know, to make the little souvenir keychains and things to sell at the end. And the person I was with is like, why are they taking the pictures? I'm like, oh, so that way they can identify the bodies in case something happens like after it's over.
That's great.
It's so they're neat because like they just pull up like, okay, oh, here's where old, you know, Howard, the alligator is. Like, this is where he hangs out. Yep, he's there today.
And this woman brought this small dog on the boat with us.
Oh, no.
And when we stopped, this gator like came over and just had its eyes
Was the dog's name
the dog?
Chum? This is my dog, Chum.
Chum.
I will add my 2 extra little things. We just got back from seeing the Big Boy Train in Northeast Ohio here.
Yeah.
And we did do a Cincinnati Reds game / the Cincinnati Union Terminal. They have like a museum there now.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw the Lego Jurassic Park exhibit there. So that was our
cool.
Yeah, we're
mad respect to Sam Neill. Recently departed.
That happened right after my working in education, and then my kids are off school too. We do have the luxury of just picking up and going in the summer, so it's nice. But
get everybody off.
I'll let you guys go though, because that was my adventure there.
At JT, I have to hit you up on some. We're going to be doing our very first seagoing cruise next February. So, a Mediterranean cruise, but I know nothing about it other than, I've done some research, of course, where we're going, but I know nothing about cruising other than the river cruise we did in Europe. And but the big point, Brian, you'll love this. I'm on the Pacific Princess 2. It's the second one that Princess Cruises had, and then they sold it. So Azamara, it's now called the Azamara Onward. So it's been renamed to the Onward under the Azamara.
You have a pair of shorts and a matching white shirt with epaulets on it. And,
absolutely.
And a little hat and the knee-high socks to wear with your white shoes, and absolutely get that photo.
I'm going to get that photo. It even has the track around the top. It's pretty similar to the original Pacific Princess.
I'm gonna see home video from Todd, and it's just going to be by the pool following some girl's butt, and then it stops at the table, and then they start talking.
That's essentially every the middle 35 minutes of those episodes is just people talking about the pool with butts in the background.
As you all know, we love the Love Boat. So.
The Love Boat's fantastic.
Well, if you've done the Jungle Cruise, then it's probably not that different from taking a regular cruise, Todd. You're fully, prepared to go. Yeah,
I am ready.
You've done a lot of cruises if you think about it that way.
Yeah, that's true. I've sailed the River of Time before.
That's
Joe Fowler
the Joe Fowler. Wow. I've cruised more than I thought. So where did you head to? You were on a road trip as well.
We did. My son is a absolute nut for aviation. And so this is his second year going to Huntsville, Alabama, the Space Camp, which you all know from the 1982 film.
Yes.
With was it 1982?
No.
I think it was a few years after that.
A few years,
86 or something like
it's
that.
It's 86. It came out. I actually read an article on this recently about how they were unsure to release the film because it was right after the Challenger incident.
Oh, okay.
And that was starring Leah Thompson.
I thought Kate Capshaw was in it.
She was in it too, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
And a robot. Kelly Preston.
Oh, wow.
Kelly Preston. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix was in it too.
No way.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the music was by John Williams.
Oh, excellent.
Had all the big stars.
And John Stegman, don't know who he is, but he played the bully in the dorm. So
he got his in the end.
Exactly. Oh, Tom Skerritt too.
Absolutely. And his mustache.
Yep. that always came to the screen first before he did.
Yes.
So he's not into space so much, but he's into aviation, and they have a program there called the Aviation Challenge, which is for people that are into jet fighters and things like that. So he's 12, about to be 13. And so this was his second year enrolled with that program. So we drove from Florida, stopped in Georgia at Warner Robins. If you're interested in fighter jets, they have a great museum there, way bigger than I ever expected. We did do the Delta Flight Museum in Atlanta a couple of years prior, which was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I haven't been to that one yet, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So it's on the list.
And a few trips before we did the Smithsonian one outside by the airport in Virginia.
The Udvar-Hazy Museum at Dulles. Yeah, phenomenal. That's so much better. That's so much better than the Air and Space on the National Mall.
I mean, my gosh, you go there and it's like, it's
amazing.
It's everything you ever wanted to see and then some.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a full-size 747. Hey, it's the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Hey, it's not the Endeavour. Which one is it there? Discovery's there, right? I think Discovery.
Yeah. Did you go into this museum?
Yes.
How?
Yes, we did.
They have a blackbird there.
They do.
That's cool.
We have accidentally, I don't know, accidentally on purpose now, maybe. It's like we've seen 3 blackbirds. And now I'm kind of like, I think we need to do a thing where we just go visit all the blackbirds, like in the United States.
I saw the one, if I'm remembering correctly, I saw it on, it's on the Intrepid, right? I think there's one on the Intrepid in New York.
There's one there.
I went to one in Kansas at the Cosmodrome. Okay. Which is another phenomenal museum, which you would not expect a space museum to be in Kansas. But it's really good. So highly recommend that one too. But this one in Warner Robins, phenomenal collection. They had a B-17G, like my dad flew in World War II. So it was great to see one of those, and in particular the model that he flew, because there's 17As, BCs, DZs, and so it's hard to find the Gs. And that was great. And they had a bunch of stuff indoors, a bunch of stuff outdoors. Really a great day trip if you're, in the Georgia area.
Well, Warner Robins, there's a Buc-ee's there.
Oh, is there?
Oh, there we go.
That's literally like one of the Buc-ee's we were at was in Warner Robins, Georgia.
Did you hit one on this trip? How?
We actually, the one that we did is later on in the trip. So yes, I did have my first experience with Buc-ee's a little bit later.
Okay.
So then from there we stopped over there, spent the night, went to the museum, and then went to Huntsville proper and dropped him off for his program, and then left and then started heading over to Blackburn, Virginia, because my older son is looking at schools. And so he wanted to check out Virginia Tech. So on the way over to Virginia Tech, we stopped for a day in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we went to see the Sun Sphere from the World's Fair, which
cool.
1982 in Knoxville, yeah.
From the red earth of Mexico, it's coming. From China, a piece of the Great Wall, it's coming.
You've got to be there. The 1982 World's Fair.
From every corner of the earth, it's coming. And it's coming soon. You've got to be there.
Point me in the right direction. I'll be there.
The 1982 World's Fair. You've got to be there.
And they made a whole Simpsons episode, I guess, about the characters going.
Excuse me, is this the World's Fair Visitor Center?
Used to be, back in 1982. You're 14 years too late.
What about the Sun Sphere?
You mean the Wig Sphere. You're welcome to go up there if you want to see 16,000 boxes of unsold wigs.
I hate this place.
So the Sun Sphere is there, and then there's an amphitheater, which was right next to it. It was really hard to try to figure out where stuff was. Apparently, they took an old rail yard, got rid of all the railroads, left a few of the buildings that were there from the 1900s for like a candy factory and a restaurant and some things. When we did finally go to the Sun Sphere proper and went upstairs, they had a lovely little exhibit about the World's Fair there. We found out Bob Hope went there on his birthday because apparently Bob Hope can't not go somewhere and do terrible jokes.
It's where the Goodyear blimp goes on vacation.
Men at Work played there for the their first concert in the United States, like
From
through the
down
Australian
under?
pavilion.
Really?
Yeah. And they had a decent map of like, here's what was there then, and here's what was there now. So there's just a couple pieces left
Hal's
over.
dropping the most important lead about the 1982 Knoxville World's Fair, and that is where Coca-Cola tested Cherry Coke.
Oh.
Before releasing it nationwide in 1985.
Cherry Coke, just out and outrageous.
Cherry Coca-Cola.
Check it out and find out. Taste is what it's all about. Outrageously smooth, outrageously light. Cherry makes it wild, Coca-Cola makes it right. Cherry Coke, outrageous. Cherry Coke.
So thank you, Knoxville. Yeah.
I know President Reagan visited because I saw footage of from the Reagan Library's website, and It was like it's kind of like the last big World's Fair in America, wasn't it?
Yeah, at least the United States. 2 other technical innovations from the World's Fair. The first gas pumps where you could pay like at the pump were shown there at a energy pavilion. And the first touch screen. So they beat Epcot Center by a couple of months.
Look at that.
Because the fair closed in October and then late in October, and then Epcot Center opened in early October. So they apparently had the first touch screens just slightly before Epcot.
I find a lot of, I do the flea markets, especially to occupy myself in the fall, winter, and spring when the pool isn't open. And there is so much 82 World's Fair stuff that I come across, and it's just like, again, the snapshot in time from when Epcot opened, it's the same year. So you see the same ashtrays and medallions and things like that from the 82 World's Fair in Knoxville, all with the sun sphere on them and rainbow colors. And it's really neat to see. Sometime we will have to spend at least a little time talking about Expo 86 in Vancouver, which was like the next one in North America, see what the post Epcot effect was. Because there's actually still a lot of stuff in downtown Vancouver that's left from that they built for the World's Fair there, Expo 86 in 1986, including the SkyTrain that runs all over town. That'd be an interesting comparison sometime from where the World's Fair was in 82 to what Expo 86 looked like and how much Epcot impacted that. Somebody go out there and write a college paper on it. So we don't have to do the work.
I saw in the souvenir glasses that the signature cocktail from the fair was called the Sunburst, and now I have to try to find the recipe for that somewhere.
Is that a challenge? Because I bet you I can come up with it in 2 shakes of the ram's tail.
You're on. But they had a great logo. It was, it's kind of sort of reminded me of the Epcot logos where it's sort of like fire, but it feels circle shape. And so that was good stuff. And
got it.
All right.
Got it.
Thank you to the newspaper archive. 1982 Philadelphia Inquirer, Sunday, May 30th, 1982. The Sunburst cocktail is the specialty of the Sunsphere restaurant, and it's a pleasure to sip as you savor the view from the Golden Tower above the fairgrounds. The recipe calls for Nassau Royal, an orange liqueur with a hint of vanilla. Lacking that, you could substitute Cointreau or Curacao. JT knows a thing or two about that. And add the merest touch of mint extract, although it won't be as wonderful. So the Sunburst cocktail as listed in the paper was 1.5 ounces of rum, Bacardi Light is preferred, 1.5 ounces of Nassau Royale or other orange-flavored liqueur, and 1.5 to 2 ounces of fresh orange juice, grenadine to color, and cracked or shaved ice.
Grenadine to I've never heard that before. Just like a dash of
I would think you would just put a splash at the top to add the red top to it. And not mix
not make it to taste.
Well, actually, let me read the instructions now and see if it says to combine the rum, liquor, orange juice, and enough grenadine to give an orange color.
Oh, okay.
Shake, and with enough ice to fill a 13-ounce glass until blended and chilled. Serve garnished with a lime slice. Makes 1 large or 2 small drinks.
Now that's interesting because I just found a News 6 article on the same drink, but it's different.
Oh, really?
Bum, bum, bum.
Are you calling Elaine Tate and Marilyn Martyr, the Inquirer food writers, a liar?
This is written in Knoxville, set for the 40th anniversary of the World's Fair. They decided to break out the old recipe here. They say crushed ice, the Bacardi, 1.5 ounces. They want 1 ounce of Royale liqueur, a splash of grenadine, a squeeze of lime, and then you fill a glass with orange juice, stir, garnish with a cherry, an orange slice, and a lime wedge.
I think they dressed it up there for the 40th anniversary.
I know. Now, this is interesting. It says the president and manager of operations for Bacardi Imports actually visited the fair and was there for the launch of the Sunburst cocktail. He had one of the first Sunburst cocktails, and he and his family toured the fair. So there you go.
So that JT is the kind of recipe that drives me crazy because whenever you say like fill a glass with a liquid, You now have an indeterminate amount of liquid. And
Yes.
the balance of it could be anywhere.
My article says a 13-ounce glass.
So
that's still a lot.
And was my pet peeve with the Lapu Lapu when they used to. I think now it's frozen, but when they would mix it in front of you, because the size of the pineapple they would pour it in, they would pour in the liquor ingredients and then they would fill the rest of it up with pineapple juice. And then but depending on the size of the pineapple, the carved out, you get a very different drink. And so you could never really count on what your Lapu Lapu was going to taste like. And some of them were awesome and some of them were just okay. Because that level of orange juice to the rest of the ingredients was always different.
Can I just throw this in there before I close this page from the Inquirer 1982 article? I'm not going to go to page 4 of the dining section, I guess, on this Knoxville thing, but they're going gate to gate, many choices, and it's about all the food pavilions at the World's Fair. And this is where it's the China Pavilion restaurant, west end of Fairgrounds. And the sentence is, this may be the worst Chinese restaurant in history.
What?
It is at least the worst restaurant on the grounds of the World's Fair. I'm not reading the rest of it because you can't top that.
Oh my gosh.
I do get the feeling that many of the restaurants were just set up by locals. They weren't, brought in.
Yeah.
They didn't bring in a famous, Chinese chef in order to do that.
And now, Martin Yan, the Chinese chef.
I was going to make a joke about whoever the Flavor Town guy is.
Oh, that's
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
He'd be like the Chinese Guy Fieri.
I had one of his burgers on our cruise ship. They had the Guy Fieri burger.
They're very good on the cruise ship.
Guy's
they are
Burger
very
Bar.
good on the cruise ship.
They offer that, and it's you can.
That and Shaquille O'Neal's chicken.
Mine didn't have that. I had the Blue Iguana Taco Cantina. That was
okay. Those are good
Shaq
too.
was on the basketball court though. He was up there. That was,
I love it. With no George Foreman grill available. They couldn't get that sponsorship in there too.
Nobody remembers who he is anymore.
Okay.
Introducing George Foreman's lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machines.
It has my name on it.
Enjoy delicious grilled food in minutes with no mess and without all the fat. The secret's the design. It has a unique sloped grill, so the fat just runs away from your food as it cooks perfectly.
Knocks out the fat.
It cooks your favorite food with less fat.
When it's done with the George Foreman lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine.
No, so and then one place I will recommend, we went to a place called the Turn Club, TERN, like the bird, for cocktails in Knoxville, and they had some lovely tiki drinks there. It wasn't very tiki on the inside, but their cocktails were good. So left there, went to Blackbird, Virginia, hung out with some friends that have a house there, and then went and toured Virginia Tech. Right.
Wait, is it Blacksburg?
Hang on, let me find out real quick. It is Blacksburg.
There you go.
All right.
I was trying to look it up. I'm looking up these places you're saying as you're talking.
Yeah. And so we toured the school, which was cool, nice. Turned around then and hightailed it back to Huntsville to pick up my son, and then we got to part of the perks of putting him through the Aviation Challenge camp is that you get to visit the Huntsville Space and Rocket Center, which I actually went to when I was a little kid. And I remember, I think the main building there, which is this actually kind of incredible, brutalist cement structure. When I went there, their sort of claim to fame at that point was that they had the Space Monkey Baker, I think.
Richard Scarry had Abel Baker. He was Baker, and his name was Abel. I wonder if that's a play off of that. Abel Baker. It was Abel Baker Charlie. That's what it was.
Yeah, I don't think that's the NATO phonetic alphabet, but I think because that's Alpha Bravo Charlie now.
Abel is the first American astronaut into space. That's the some type of rhesus monkey.
Rhesus
monkey. It's the greatest Sopranos line in history.
What's going on?
I went to Blockbuster today to rent Cinderella Man, and guess what?
Is it still a classic?
I found out that our son, the liar, had been fired 3 weeks ago.
From Blockbuster? How the f*** you do that? They got rhesus monkeys working as managers over there.
Now, Baker is a squirrel monkey. Abel was placed in the nose cone of Jupiter AM-18.
In 1971, Miss Baker moved to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, where she entertained museum visitors and drew 100 to 150 letters a day from school children. So I actually saw her when she was alive. Like, I have very vague recollections of this pen that she was in. And when we went back, of course, she's passed. So her grave is outside of the Space and Rocket Center, and you can go visit her grave now. And they have the worst, like, lunar module, like fake lunar module thing outside.
No.
It's just fascinating. So they have a rocket garden, much like the Kennedy Space Center has a rocket garden, and probably any place that has space stuff has a rocket garden. Yeah. And there's this large area where they sort of like pulled out all the dirt, almost like a giant crater shape, and then filled it with cement. And there's some like fake rocks and stuff in there. And I assume the lunar module, whatever they have, it must have been something legitimate at one point. Because I know a lot of times they'll make like, dummies of them.
Yeah.
Or they were like not even
training modules.
Sometimes it's like it's a training thing, or like, oh, we need something that weighs approximately the same weight. Yep. And it's terrible looking. And they have some like really cheesy sort of like astronauts outside. And I remember it wasn't great in the 1970s. And it has not aged well since then. Now, inside, they actually have a really, really nice one now. And much like Kennedy Space Center, they have a Saturn V of some vintage that they have put inside of a building, and it's great. They also have a test space shuttle.
Isn't that the one they recently restored too? If I recall, it was gone for a while. That was the one.
It was gone for a while.
That was that Enterprise the one that did or was that the one that went on the back of the airplane for the aerodynamic tests?
Enterprise was the one that went on the back of the airplane for the dynamic tests, but I don't think that's what they actually have.
So Enterprise was the structural test. And then there was the Pathfinder.
Yeah, Pathfinder's in Alabama.
Okay.
Is that where it is? That was the for moving and handling test. And then there was another one too, the America.
Wow, there were a lot of those.
Well, this one says removed. The Independence, that's the one I'm thinking of. And there was the Inspiration as well. So the Independence was also known as the Explorer. It was a replica. There's a whole thing where it went to space. Yeah. Go down the Wikipedia article. There's the Resolution too that was at the Columbia Memorials there. And so, and the Inspiration was at the shuttle landing facility. They're not all made by NASA, but it's fascinating how many parts and different things were made for display, but also for testing. So
now I learned this summer, speaking of Florida, what's the orange part? Is that the fuel tank?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a random fleet fuel tank laying in Florida. Have you seen that?
No. Where is
literally,
it?
they were going to transport it. Oh my gosh, I started speaking before.
That's the external fuel tank. Yeah.
Literally in Green Cove Springs, Florida. It's kind of like on the East Coast there. There's it's kind of near the water, the coast. There's just a random external fuel tank sitting there. It was supposed to go somewhere, and it like in mid journey, like wherever museum was going to take it, they closed or something. So it's just literally laying there.
Oh yeah, here it is. It's right on. It's like down by the water. It's literally just sitting there.
And it's just comical because like you could just drive up to it and go,
Oh yeah, look at that. It's if you go to Google Maps, you could just Did you see it?
No, I haven't. I saw it like when we were down there, and I was like, I can't make another diversion on this trip. I'm at
We're going to the world's largest ball of twine.
Yeah,
kids.
it's like next trip, I'm gonna go see this thing. Hopefully, it's still there.
That is crazy.
That was like the day I was using the roadside attractions app and driving across I-4, I guess it was, and got off the highway to go see the Spaceman from the MTV Movie Awards, which is just in a scrapyard. Right off one of the exits.
Oh, really?
It's still there. You can still go see it. Yes. By the way, the MTV Spaceman or Moon Person is a 15-foot tall silver styrofoam statue located at Acme Industrial Surplus in Sanford, Florida, not far from Walt Disney World.
So for this tank, JT, the original bidder was located in California and decided transport it was too much. And then the second winning bidder was the Wings of Dream Aviation Museum in Keystone Heights Airport in Stark, Florida. So they had a barge, 2 tugboats, and cranes that were required to move it to Green Cove Springs, where it was meant to be temporarily stored for reaching its final destination. Moving the tank proved to be a logistical nightmare due to road conditions, low-hanging electrical telephone cables, and wires. The museum's executive director, 2 state highways had to be closed down, and multiple power lines would have to be removed. So it didn't make sense, like you said. Recently, a sign was placed in front of the tank. And the Wings of Dream Aviation Museum closed in 2019 due to lack of funds, and it was evicted from the airport hangar in which it was located.
It's just great.
It says, oh, this is interesting. When the airport authority went to court to have remove the artifacts from the property, one of the artifacts, a shuttle crew transporter, was left abandoned directly outside the airport property on land that is used for rally racing. The museum also had shuttle training simulator and many World War II relics. So it's the CT. Oh, it's the, you know what it is? The CTV is like one of those ones that they use at Dulles Airport, where they can actually go up to a gate, you load into it, and then the truck drives out to the airplane. So it would pull up against next to the shuttle after it landed. And I think Dulles, let's see if they still use the people movers. They literally, you walk to a gate and you walk on one end like a bus.
Oh, that is weird. Why they got those sticks on the top of it?
So that they can be seen by aircraft and other people.
What?
Yeah.
That seems absurd.
It is pretty crazy looking, is it?
We've gone down a terrible rabbit hole here.
That'll be in the notes, that picture.
2 weeks ago, it was announced that they could say goodbye to them. So go to fly to Dulles and ride these CTVs, these transport vehicles. So
next show, we're filming from Dulles. We're going to go live.
Just on the people moving back and forth between gates C and D.
We'll do a meet and greet.
Yeah.
You know.
Come fly in, see us, maybe grab.
And we'll walk through the Varhazy Museum.
I still won't like those sticks on the top.
Well, they are a little.
Is this your satellite radio? It's our OnStar. It's our OnStar antenna.
So let's see. The other sort of highlights the museum. They have a little exhibit on Werner von Braun, and they have a reproduction. You know how you go to Disneyland and they have like the reproduction like of Walt's office.
Yeah,
like they have that for Werner von Braun. So they have duplicated his office with his actual desk and books that he had, and his slide rule and a bunch of stuff behind glass. And one of the funniest things, which seemed like it was baloney, but actually was true, is there's on behind his desk, they have, the different models of the rockets that, he worked on. And so he had this display. So, it starts with the V2, or I guess the American version of the V2, whatever that was called. And then, up to the Redstones, and then the Atlases, and then the Saturn 1B. And apparently they, when they made the one for the Saturn V, it was so tall, they actually had to like cut out the drop ceiling behind the desk. So that way the model would actually fit within the room, because the drop ceiling was too low. And they've reproduced that like in the room, to where there's like a hole in the ceiling where the Saturn V model sticks up, which is pretty funny. And then this story is so weird. So I remember when I was a kid at the John Young Museum in Orlando, they used to have some kind of Apollo capsule, like a command module sort of mock-up that you could get in and, crawl around inside to sort of feel like what it was like to be in the command module. I don't think they have that anymore. I think, I don't know if they closed it off and now you can just look at it, or if they have a different thing there now, but they had, this command module that you could get in, you and 2 of your close friends, to get that feeling of like what it was like to ride in the command module. And so when I did it last year, I got in and I got out of it, and suddenly there was this giant tear in the back of my shirt. Like something had sliced the back of my shirt completely open, which I didn't even feel. But we got out of it, and all of a sudden, I think my kids or my wife was like, "What's wrong with your shirt?" And it was literally just hanging open. I had to go to the gift shop and buy another shirt. I noticed there was a screw like screwed in on the one side that was kind of like poking up. And so I vowed if I went back again, I would screw that screw down into place so that way no one else's shirt would be ruined. And so I brought a screwdriver with me. Sure enough, it hadn't been fixed. So I just went and screwed the screw in so no one else rips their shirt going forward, hopefully. So,
thank you, Al. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm looking out for everybody, you know?
Yeah. Making sure it's all done well.
So we did that, finished out in Huntsville, and then drove back south to go to Florida. And we stopped at the Florida Caverns State Park. And so you would not think that there would be caverns in Florida, but you would be wrong. There is a caverns that you can visit, which was lovely, as most, cavern type visits are. That was a thing that we did a lot in the 70s because there wasn't many things to do in the old days of the roadside attractions. And so we went and they had the typical stuff you would expect with the colored lights, for the stalagmites and the stalactites. And you get to some point and they do the thing where they shut off all the lights so that you know what it feels like to be completely isolated alone in the dark. And it was really interesting because it had rained pretty heavily the day before. And so, you always hear about how the stalactites and the stalagmites are formed by dripping water. Well, there was actually enough water coming in that you could actually see it active and dripping down, which was really neat. In fact, some of the sections of the cave were flooded enough where we couldn't go into it. So we had to make alternate routes or step over puddles. And so that was a really, really nice trip. That part was really great.
I remember my first foray or ever going into a place was Brian, you may know this one, Crystal Caverns in Pennsylvania.
Crystal
Cave, yes. Yeah. And I'll never forget, I went to the gift shop and I was enamored by the what they called back then the Indian Weatherstone, which was the rock hung by 3 sticks just hanging on a piece of string. If it's moving, it's windy. If it's white, it's snowing. If it's wet, it's raining. If it's not moving, it's a nice day. It's terrible.
The best thing about if you've never toured a cave, and I get to somewhere in Missouri, I think it was, we got to drive into one. And somebody on my Instagram feed or Facebook feed or something just did the same tour. And I'm like, hey, I recognize that cave. You go in on they take you in giant ATV haulers. And, but if you've never toured a cave before, the cool thing about caves is you go in on a 95-degree day, they're 50 degrees inside. And if you go in when it's 20 degrees, it's 50 degrees outside. It's one of those things where the caves, they do tours year round. And they tell you in the summer, hey, just be aware, you're going to be down here for 30 minutes or whatever, and it's a little slippery, and you're in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's 50 degrees. And in the winter, you're like, wow, it's balmy down here if you're coming out of winter weather. So I do recommend touring a cave sometime.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we went to the Lost Sea in Sweetwater, Tennessee. Yeah. And you get on boats at one point because there's one of the parts of the cave is so flooded out that you get on these sort of I can't remember if they're glass bottomed or not, but apparently there's these blind fish that live in the cave because they have never been exposed to light. They're blind and they're a kind of trout, and they almost have a see-through style skin.
Oh, weird.
Is really weird. Really, really weird. And they would shine the flashlight down so that you could see them. That was great. And then when I was a real little kid, I went to Carlsbad Caverns, which was enormous.
The famous one. Yeah, that thing's massive.
So, but I think, it's probably the 7th or 8th cavern. Howell Caverns, I think I went there. And then at Rock City, I think there's Ruby Cave, or is it Ruby Falls? Ruby Falls by Rock City. Up at that section where Georgia and Tennessee and Kentucky and all those states meet. So yeah, go put a cave on your to-do list, everyone. Yeah. It's highly recommended.
Be a spelunker.
Yeah. Don't do that. Yes. Jesus, that freaks me out.
That's scary stuff.
No, be a spelunker. And if you played Where in the World is Carmen San Diego, That was one of the clues. He was a spelunker, and then in like fourth grade, you had to look up what a spelunker was. Oh, they explored caves.
Was that in the that was in the video game version, not the PBS game show?
Do it, Rockapella! Where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego?
No, it was in the that upon which the PBS series was based, which is the 8-bit computer game. For the Apple II Commodore, but the clue would lead you to Kentucky, where Mammoth Cave National Park is.
I think I've been there too.
So if they were a spelunker, the clue was that they were in Kentucky, and you would fly to Louisville or Louisville,
Louisville.
Louisville. If you really want to get slapped there by somebody, that's a Louisville slugger.
And how long have you been back, Hal? When did you?
Oh, that was, we've been back home since June.
Okay.
Yeah, the end of June,
okay.
I think.
It was a week. It was a week trip. It was very, in and out, as they say.
Nice. So Brian is going to go over he's using a visual aid, which I'll be using to recollect the timeline of events via photos.
Well, it's also to jog my memory.
I have a 4-hour slideshow presentation we're going to put together. So
I do need to mention before I get to the thing with me is I do my travel when it's cold here, and I tend to stay close to home during the summer because we have gorgeous summers here in the northeastern United States, and I like to spend my time by the pool and I like to travel when it's cold and dark out up here, like it is from October through April. So that is usually when I take my 2 trips away. One of which this year will be for Retro Magic in February, which I guess we'll talk about a little later. But when I'm here, I've put the call out, hey, if you're coming to town, let me know. And I did get that call from our friend Scott outside St. Louis, Missouri, who brought his family to town and messaged me ahead of time for some suggestions. I'd never met Scott before, but Scott said, hey, I'm coming to town. And if you have some time, my wife and kids are going to see the Phillies game one night, and I'm not a baseball guy. I'd love to meet up for dinner. So I drove down and picked him up at his hotel near the Philadelphia airport, and I gave him the nickel tour. Took him around to show him some Disney-related sites and some cool history-related sites. And then we had dinner at the Penrose Diner, which he graciously picked up the check for. Nice. So I still think I want to send out a thank you to Scott. I had a great time with him. And the best part about his trip was it was one of those ones like you, Hal. I mean, they were going commando. They were to Washington, D.C., and they're going here and they're going there. They made it out to, some part of Pennsylvania. They were in Lidditz. And the funny thing is they could pronounce it the way Sean Connery would.
The categories are celebrities, potpourri, popular music, movies, potent potables, U.S. history, and S-words, which are words that begin with the letter S. Mr. Connery, it's your turn.
I'll take swords for 400.
It's actually not swords, sir.
But the town is spelled Lititz. It's Lidditz, Pennsylvania, not Lititz. But lots of people mispronounce it. But I knew where he had been, and then I was like, wow, you covered a lot of ground, because that's like way out. It's not a short jaunt from the city of Philadelphia. But they came in, and he wanted to do a day, show them the Jersey Shore boardwalk. And he told me, yes, I took the family, we came up, we went to Atlantic City. And I was just like, really? Because Atlantic City is like, it's like taking your family to Orlando and saying we're going to Fun Spot,
exactly.
instead of the theme parks. Like its best days have been behind it. And I enjoy my visits to Atlantic City, to the casinos and some of the places to eat there. But the boardwalk is not really a family scene. It's been on hard times for about 40 years now. And there's just like, I said, oh, you could have gone to Ocean City. You could have gone to Wildwood. Like there's all these other places you could have hit. And he's like, yeah, I realized that once we were there. But I had a great time with him. So that was right before two seminal things happened. One, I had a plan to go up to New York City for a couple of days. And the short version is a friend of mine works for a museum that had lent art to the Modern Museum of Art and wanted to go to New York to see the art installed up there and on display in the Modern Museum of Art before it was returned to her museum. And it was only showing in middle of June to the middle of August. So I said, well, let's go up and we'll pick a weekend and we'll go up. So we picked the second weekend it was on display. But right before I left, I had my first celebration of America's 250th birthday. Nobody celebrated it better than McDonald's by bringing back for a limited time the fried apple pie. And I'm looking at my photo roll and I see that I had my first fried apple pie on June 18th.
When was that discontinued?
Is it gone already?
It is officially like it was supposed to be done like July 6th or 7th. Some places still have it, like mine still has it because I guess they're going to wait till they run out of stock and then they'll switch back to the baked.
Gotcha.
But so you know, you'd have to just check the app for your local McDonald's and see if the fried apple pie is still listed.
You should describe this for the people out there that did not experience it
because
in
it's
their
something.
youth.
So I would say a couple things. The first is I would guess that we will see It's Like again. Based on the fact that the McRib and other things that now that they know they can do it, they'll bring it back periodically. But McDonald's, from the time they introduced pies in the 60s or 70s, the story was written a bunch when this one came out. They were deep fried. They were just little. They looked like Hot Pockets, and they were deep fried. And they had apple and cherry, and probably there were peach and some other.
I think there were a few others. Yeah.
Apple was the main one. They would always have a cherry one around President's Day or some other times. Peach might be a summer variation, but they always had, and they would come out and they were unique because they're not tossed in sugar or anything. They would come out of the fryer. They'd let them drip for a bit and they would get the most interesting blistery, like pastry cover, fried dough really, but it was really blistery.
It reminds me of the spaceship in Star Trek 4. Just looking for the whales.
The probe that was looking for the whales. Yeah. I mean, look a picture of them up. I'm staring at a picture of one right
and
now.
They don't have the little vents in them. They just are.
They don't have the little vents or anything. And so that was the big thing was that after McDonald's got sued for the coffee being too hot, they revised their menu. And one of the things that fell victim to that and the whole if you have anything with trans fats or fried, it's going to kill you immediately. You'll just drop dead. So they stopped selling the fried pies and switched to a baked pie, which isn't bad, by the way. But the fried pies were like, wow. And the only places they were still sold is in Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Hawaii. They've continued to be sold in Hawaii for the last 30 years.
I think they had a taro pie there too.
If
I remember correctly.
I'm sure we'll get emails from Keith about other pies that they might have there too. And then there were airport locations and like military bases and stuff where they didn't have like the baked ovens, like the space for it. So they would continue to sell the fried pies. But yeah, so they rolled them out nationwide for America's 250th. And the big reason that they supposedly got away from them was because they would come out and the filling would be blisteringly hot.
So hot.
And so if you didn't get one that had been sitting in the for a half an hour or so in the little pie dispenser,
that's the thing.
You would bite into this thing and it was like 220 degrees
I think
inside.
people would squirt out over onto your face.
People need to realize too that McDonald's back then in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they weren't making it for you when you ordered it, right? A lot of the food was made and sitting on these trays, and you ordered a cheeseburger. They grabbed the cheeseburger, and there used to be this little plastic tent, and that had kind of like a time limit on it. So you're right, Brian. If you got a freshie, boy, you were
get ready.
Yeah, I spent one summer working at McDonald's in Ocean City, New Jersey, which, by the way, closed this past year. I had been there forever when you came in over the 9th Street Bridge, but I spent one summer working there. And while they wouldn't let me, I was under 16, I think, they wouldn't let me work the grill. It's like to make burgers. I wasn't old enough, but you were allowed to work the hot vat of oil. So I was allowed to make fries and chicken and hot apple pies at the time. And it really was like I'm thinking about the year. I think it was the summer of 90 or 91. I mean, it had to be the last summer or one of the last summers of fried apple pies. And we had apple and cherry in the freezer in the back. And I would always take it upon myself to be like, I'll make like 6 of each when I was on my shift. And like they stored them in the pie dispenser. I got in trouble from them, not in trouble, but the manager's like, why'd you make all these pies? And I'm like, well,
just trying to get ahead.
He's like, look, we don't sell that many pies. Don't do that. Unless we ask for them, don't make. I was just trying to be like an eager beaver because I like the pies.
You know, I started on cleanup just like you guys. But now, see, I'm washing lettuce. Soon I'll be on fries, then the grill. A year or two, I make assistant manager. And that's where the big bucks start rolling in.
Jump into your McDonald's. I hadn't really done this. I went to an Aruba McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
And
you gotta just sample some of the local
The
cuisine
local favorite was the Magnifica sandwich,
I love those little
basically
variations.
a quarter pounder. I don't think it had cheese, but it did have lettuce, tomato, mayo, and it gave it kind of more of a deluxe, fresher feel. So
kind of a Whopper takeoff.
Yeah, that was about it. The only other weird one was they let, like it was World Cup, so the kids' toys were World Cup in the Happy Meal, and they let them pick there was it was one of those Happy Meal toys where there weren't 4 options. There's like 30 options. Yeah. And on the touch screen, the kids got to pick the one out of 30 they wanted, and one kid got the one they picked and the other didn't. So it was kind of a, but yeah, that was the Aruba McDonald's. And then I got a bunch of weird change I didn't know what to do with. So
the McDonald's in Curacao, do the kids get to pick out what color of Curacao they want?
Actually, what color do you want your nuggets dyed? Do you want it blue, red, orange? Real quick on that, I was disappointed because I thought I could find that brand of liqueur here, the Curacao, whatever, but I can't find it in Ohio anywhere. I'm kind of disappointed.
Oh, really?
So you can usually find it from Bowls, BOLS.
Like I have to order it?
But no, well, I guess it depends on your, but that brand that you had down there, the original one, like I've not seen that in a liquor store anywhere. There's usually like DeCooper and Bowls are usually, sold in, a decent liquor store. But that original one that you found is pretty rare. And of course, my favorite Curacao is actually dry Curacao. Mm-hmm. That's what I use in my Mai Tais. I think that's a really
it is good to use. And actually, we used that last night. We were making a drink and we used the dry Curacao because the recipe called for Cointreau, and it's just too sweet. And the dry Curacao is a little nicer.
I know we're far off topic here for a second, but so Todd, I know you ordered the St. Augustine Distillery bourbon when we were talking about it. Have you tried it yet?
Are you kidding me? That didn't last.
It's gone. It's gone. That's my stuff right there.
It was good. That was a really good one.
All right. Yeah, I thought you'd appreciate that. Anyway, so that apple pie came up in the photo feed because that was the day I went to New York. And how we worked it out was my friend had off for Juneteenth, which was a Friday. So she flew up Thursday night, and when you're going to New York, you can fly into Newark, JFK, or LaGuardia. And it made the most sense coming from Virginia to fly to Newark. I have driven past Newark Airport more times than I can count on my way to New York or parts north on I-95 or the Jersey Turnpike. I have not. I'd never been in the airport. So not wanting to drive in North Jersey, because I have to tell you, like if you've never driven in New Jersey and you're on the Turnpike or I-95, they will tell you there's not a Central Jersey. Like it's not a real place. It is a real place. There's South Jersey and then there's Central Jersey. And there's a certain point where on the Turnpike, you pass what used to be the Amarada Hess building, where it kind of crosses over into what I start to consider North Jersey, like the opening credits of The Sopranos. The roads just get rougher. Everything on the side of it is industrial. Like it's the gritty New Jersey of Kevin Smith films. and not like the little suburban New Jersey that I'm used to in South Jersey, and the central New Jersey. I'd consider like where Great Adventure is in Jackson,
to me, that's
New Jersey.
southern.
That's Central Jersey
for me.
I know. Yeah, right. Jersey people are. There is no such thing.
No, there is.
There's this like whole middle area that you're not really.
It's the Bridgewater, Flemington, all that. Nobody knows what goes on there. I mean, that's where I lived, but.
The city of Newark is a cesspool. I cannot driving through there a couple of times.
So anyway, I knew while I could park for free we stayed at the Hyatt Grand Central, which there's a history there I can mention briefly, but I could have parked for free there, which is normally like $110 overnight because I've the top status with Hyatt this year. But I was like, I do not want to drive. It wasn't even driving in Manhattan. It was, I don't want to drive in North Jersey. I just don't want to do that drive. I did it last year for my nephew's hockey tournament. It's like potholes and just like 9 lanes across and tractor trailers coming at you. And you're just like, all right, I don't want to do this. I'm too old for this crap. I feel like Danny Glover. But anyway, so I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive to the Trenton Transit Center, and I will pick up Amtrak. Amtrak is a 30-minute train ride from the Trenton Transit Center to Newark Airport. And it drops you right off. There's a Newark Airport stop, and then you get on the world's slowest SkyTrain.
Horribly.
I mean, it moves at like 5 miles an hour from the platform to the first of like 4 terminal stops. The first stop is actually, I think,
the parking lot.
Let me give a piece of advice to anyone who has to use the Trenton Transit Center. Go to the bathroom before you get there, because you could pick the worst no-name gas station where the bathroom key is on a hubcap wheel or something in your life, and it wouldn't be as gross as the bathroom at the Trenton Transit Center. Like, there are like 9 guards around, but they must not have money for a janitor or for doors on the stalls or anything. Like, it is like grody
to the max.
But I caught my train, and took my quick ride up to 30 minutes easy. You get to see industrial New Jersey out the window without ever having to stop. So we met at Newark Airport, and I had made, for those of you who have never been, the Grand Central Oyster Bar. It's actually the Oyster Bar New York, and Grand Central Station has been there forever and a day. And it's a gigantic restaurant. I wonder if there's an established date. There isn't, because every day they give out a new. I mean, I have a bunch of stuff on it and could look it up, but it's not germane to the issue. But each day they have like 20 or 30 varieties of oyster. Fresh, great seafood. It's inside the terminal. It's got this great, like oval-shaped ceiling in it, and so they seat you till 9:30 at night. So believe it or not, to get from Newark to Grand Central rather than Penn, the fastest way to get there is to take a car. So we took an Uber. And it was 30 minutes from the airport to Grand Central, because trains run to Penn. They don't run to Grand Central from Newark. So fastest way to get there was there. I wanted to get there and eat. So we had a great dinner at the Grand Central Oyster Bar.
Is there still an Apple store in Grand Central? Is that the one that had
the Apple store? I did not see it.
I can't remember if it's that or if it was Penn Station.
We were, we walked, so we didn't get into Penn Station. We were in the new Moynihan Hall when we came home. So I got to see the new
very nice
train depot when we came home, which is very nice. Yeah,
it is.
Apple Grand Central is still there. It's like on like an upper like balcony. Okay. You can see, you're looking at an iPad and you look over the balcony edge there.
There we go. Yep.
There you go. Yeah, we didn't get up there. We got into the main hall. We were not like in the overlook section. But I wanted to stay at the Grand Central Hyatt for a couple of reasons. One, in my previous visits there, I was like, oh, this would be a great place to stay. You're in the heart of it all in Grand Central Station. The hotel is historic. It's from the 1930s or something. Historically, it would be of note because it was President Trump's first hotel in New York City. It's the first one he bought in 1978 or whatever, and with the Hyatt Corporation, and he was involved in it till 1996. So we were searching for all of these historic ballrooms. There were like, I think Thomas E. Dewey spent election night there when he lost to Truman or lost to Roosevelt. Like, it was, the hotel was his headquarters, and there was just, so I was trying to get to, those ballrooms are all sealed off because the hotel is imminently to close and be redeveloped into probably residences and condos or whatever they're going to do with it. But it's the only Hyatt other than the Park Hyatt, which I was not spending like 75,000 Hyatt points or $1,000 to stay in. So it was the only other Hyatt that had like a lounge for people with status. So I wanted access to the lounge. Worst lounge in the world. It had like bar mix and like fountain Pepsi, which you might as well just be serving me dirty water.
He's a Coke man, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but I did have a great breakfast buffet in their restaurant. Anyway, so we're at the Grand Central, and we had a nice view of the Chrysler Building right next to us. And the other attraction for the Grand Central Station is there is a subway. There's an express subway that runs. It's $3, and it runs every 10 minutes, but actually less. And in 90 seconds or less, it gets you from Grand Central to Times Square, to the Times Square subway station.
Wow. It's a short little thing. It's great.
So we ended up using it like 4 times. And by the end, I was like, I feel like a real New Yorker. I can just navigate these subway stations, no problem. People were asking me. I was giving them double finger points. Oh, you just have to go over there. Head up that way if you want to get to Times Square. So we went to Times Square the first day and did the normal stuff. We hit the Disney store, which is a good Disney store. It's
Red Lobster. Did they close it yet?
Didn't encounter the Red Lobster, but it could have been there. We went to the Hershey store and the M&M store.
Red Lobster closed on June 14th.
Oh wow.
We missed it by 4 days.
That's it. Like the famous one with the big claws coming out of it, and it probably sitting there abandoned.
Yeah, we could probably buy them, for our next Living Seas event. We went into, I have to mention this, and it's terrible I don't have the name of the place. It is a store that sells sardines, but it is so heavily themed. It's just off Times Square. It is so heavily themed. I would recommend anybody who's in Times Square to make a visit.
The Fantastic World of the Portuguese Sardine.
Are you serious?
That's exactly what it's called. The Fantastic World of the Portuguese Sardine. And it looks inside. It's like you're in an Epcot shop.
Oh, they got World Cup sardines. You can get an Argentina tin of sardines.
They have them with the year on them, and they're not aged sardines. It's just if you wanted to get one for like somebody's birthday, you can get like a can that has their birth year and who shares their birthday.
Brian, we know you don't like tiny fish either. So did you try any?
I did not. But the main reason I didn't buy any, other than I don't really eat
tiny fish,
I wouldn't really eat sardines. The main reason I didn't buy it is we were there at 11:31 in the morning, and the idea of carrying them around, like you don't want to buy anything because you don't want to carry it around. So we went in and out of the Disney store. We went in and out of all those other places, and I'm like, I'm not buying anything. Like I don't want to carry this stuff around. And it was hot. It was warm, but not hot in New York that day. It was actually really nice weather, but it was also it being Juneteenth and being a federal holiday and schools being out. Everything was very crowded because everybody had the day off. So it wasn't your normal weekday like crowds, which we encountered later. But we passed Radio City Music Hall and then grabbed a car down to, I had a lunch reservation on my list for many, many years. And it's very hard for me to not go over to Brooklyn and eat at Peter Luger's, which is the best steakhouse in the world, or one of the Grand Central Oyster Bar. And I'm usually not in New York for more than a day. So I have to pick my spots. But I had Keen's Chop House on my list for years. Keen's has been there since 1885, and I think it's on 33rd. It's not far from Penn Station. They are famous for their mutton chops.
That's Seinfeld.
There's your Seinfeld reference. There's your Seinfeld reference.
Everybody like mutton?
Mutton.
What is mutton? I had to look it up because I didn't know. Does anybody know?
Sheep, right?
It's lamb.
It's lamb after it's a year old. After it's a year, it's a lamb until it's a year old.
Happy birthday.
After it's a year old, it's mutton. Yeah, happy birthday. So I wanted to, it's a great steakhouse. So this place is fascinating because it's been there forever. A lot of history. Anybody who's a history buff, there is so much history on the walls there. The Keene family and then I guess subsequent owners have added things to it. The guy was a huge Lincoln fan. So
the car or the president?
The president. I'll talk a little bit about the food in a second, but they have on the walls, I mean, they're just filled with stuff. So their like prized display item was the playbill from Ford's Theater the night that Lincoln was shot that had Lincoln's blood on it.
What?
It has Lincoln's blood on it. And so it's framed and hanging in the Lincoln Room, which is where we were seated.
This is like the death restaurant.
Yeah, right.
Wait a second. At the table next to us, so if you've never done the steakhouse things, especially in New York or Hawaii or LA, there is a segment of, I guess it's Japanese tourists love beef. So you find yourself sometimes in these restaurants and you're surrounded by tables of Asian people enjoying, like taking pictures and enjoying these like huge cuts of meat. And they're tiny little Asian people. You're like, how are you eating that? And so the table next to us was a touring table from, I think, Japan. And they were taking a long time, but they were seated next to what we found out was the newest addition. The flag that draped Lincoln's casket when it was in New York City, when it did its tour, went up for auction. So the restaurant was sold to some guy a couple years ago. And right after he bought the place, this flag went up for auction. And like, well, he's like, I got to buy it. So yes, he bought it and it's hanging now in the Lincoln Room. It was right next to the table where we were, but I couldn't get a picture of it the whole time because there were people like sitting at the table right by it. And I was like, I don't want to. Well, finally, by the end, I'm like, all right, I'm going to be rude and just be the guy that takes the picture. So I have a picture of the Lincoln flag.
That's cool.
Is this behind glass or is it just like hanging there?
It is behind glass.
So you can't like wipe your mouth with it.
There it is.
Now I'm seeing there's a lot of pipes on the wall.
There are. That is.
The pipes
does one have like ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise?
No, they're not those kind of pipes, Al. So part of the thing is all over the ceilings and the walls are these collections of pipes that their regular customers used to smoke.
That kind of pipe. Okay,
yes,
okay.
and they're big like old like grandpa front porch pipes. I thought I had a picture of like their most famous ones. I don't see it here though. But they list like they have like Teddy Roosevelt's and Diamond Jim Brady's and
Babe Ruth.
Like, there's some. Yeah, there's some guys and gals from like the late 1800s, early 1900s, like that are their like prime collection that they have up there. I didn't find it nearly as interesting as like in the Roosevelt Room, the Theodore Roosevelt. There's an invitation to his inauguration. There's a bullhead or a moose head that he shot himself and gave to the restaurant. It's just the neatest. Like I had such a neat time. And I'm telling you all this without mentioning the food. The food was great. The mutton chop was good. I got a taste of mutton. They have something called a taste of mutton on the appetizer menu. That was my lunch. Just the small mutton chop. Some kind of a blue cheese puff thing that was amazing. We just tried other stuff, and they had a great chocolate mousse for dessert. And if you know me, you know I love chocolate mousse because we had it in the Living Seas the last time at our place. So. Highly recommend Keen's. Had a great time downstairs. They have all kinds of, I love old menus. They got old menus coming out the wazoo, hung up downstairs in some of the rooms down there. So Keen's Chop House goes on the list. We then headed up to the Museum of Modern Art, and we did see the exhibit that we had come to see, but I'm not a big, I'm Clark Griswold going through the Louvre.
Touche pas ma planète. It's not today que le ciel me tombera sur la tête et que la colle me manquera.
I look, I see,
on, right?
I move on. I do not need to read the descriptions. I don't want to know what kind of brush they used or how they were inspired by, a sunset in Madrid one day to paint this, and it took them 7 years to complete. Unless I'm really interested in a particular painting or work of art, I tend to go through museums fairly quickly. So after we did like a floor, and we're like, this museum's 5 floors. was like, all right, well, what's the big stuff here I need to see? And they have Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. So I got down to see Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. And I know, Todd, you've had the experience of seeing the Mona Lisa. And I know, JT, you've seen the Mona Lisa in the Louvre. It's like the painting is like Jennifer Aniston stepping out of the Emmys. Like there's just all these people around it with their pictures, with their cameras out, taking selfies. There's a security guard just off to the side, like, please step away from the rope, yelling at you. If you get too close with don't put your camera too close to the photo, keep it behind the line. I didn't take a picture of the picture as much as I took a picture of all the people taking a picture of the picture. Because it was weird. Like it was just so funny to see like all these people lined up taking a picture of it. And then we went down to see the gallery where all of the Andy Warhol Campbell soup cans are. And they're all lined up in one display. And I, of course, took a picture of myself next to Philadelphia pepper pot soup, which Campbell's discontinued about 15 years ago. And that is a soup where the meat ingredient was tripe, or tripe, as the Italians would call it. And that's part of the intestines that I think it's beef intestines.
So it's interesting. You mentioned Andy Warhol. When we were in the UK in February, we went to the Tate Modern, and I saw the Marilyn Monroe one that he did, which is pretty cool.
I wanted to mention, so we took a little break then, and then that night we went on the classic Harbor Line. I had booked tickets for us rather than take the Circle Line, which is like riding a bus around New York Harbor. I wanted to go on something a little smaller. So we were on the Full Moon yacht, which seats about 30 people. And it is from, let me just see what year it was. In 1915, it was built. So it was a really neat experience. Like we went out about, of course, June 18th, 19th, we were right up on the longest day of the year. So our cruise didn't start till like 7:50 to see the sunset, but they sail you right up to the Statue of Liberty, and you get some great pictures right up next to Lady Liberty. And then the sun starts to set. They sail you up a little bit underneath the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge, and then right up kind of to the Williamsburg, but not under it. And then they turn you around and take you by One World Trade Center and the financial district, and then back up to the dock. And that's about a 90-minute, 100-minute cruise. They have drinks on board, but it's a little yacht. It was really nice. There were about 30 people. By the end of the cruise, even if you're not a sociable person, you're friendly at least with the people who sit outside with you. It was a great experience. And then we got out, and New York's the city that never sleeps, but I was traveling with someone who values their sleep. So like I wanted to go get something to eat, and she really just was like, man, I'm tired. Like, let's just eat something and get back to the hotel. So, get Grand Central, like a lot of the places around there closed by 10 o'clock at night. And we were kind of just getting back at 10. So I did the quintessential New York experience. I found there was a $1.50 a slice pizza place around the corner from Grand Central. So we walked down some alley, stood in the little line.
You didn't go to Sbarro?
It's like right here is my favorite New York pizza joint. And I'm going to go get me a New York slice.
It wasn't Sbarro. They have them. They have them all over the city. In fact, it's really a chain of them because they list a bunch of locations. And I have to tell you, like, we stood in the line, and it was like the soup Nazi line. Like there were 5 people in front of us. You get up. What do you want? Two plain, 4 plain slices, and then we grabbed 2 drinks out of the thing. The drinks were either $1 or $1.50. The slices were $1.50. I know my whole bill was like $9. Awesome. I said, we'll take 4 slices and these 2 drinks, and it was like $9. I'm like, here you go. I handed him the cash. He handed us the pizza. We walked back to the hotel. I got to tell you, that was really good pizza.
Good old New York pizza.
Even though it was $1.50, it was. I mean, it was decent pizza. Like, and I realized I was hungry. Some might even say I was hangry, but it was really, really good pizza. So I doubt anybody's listening who was on our little cruise with us. But we had a great time that first full day in New York and got back to Grand Central. And the next day, we took that shuttle again to Times Square. And because I found out that there was an attraction there called Rise New York, just off of Times Square, that had a Soarin' ride in it.
Yeah.
And I've ridden those in
Montreal has them now.
Vancouver and Las Vegas, and I can't remember all the cities now that anytime I find out there's a Soarin' knockoff there, I take it. But this museum is really interesting because it is 3 floors and each floor has a different themed experience. It starts off with a short, 6 or 7 minute film that is made by Rick Burns and narrated by Jeff Goldblum. And they seat you in what seems like you're in Grand Central, is what, that's what the roof looks like and all, but you're sitting there and there's some projection mapping that goes on and around you as the film is playing. And it just kind of gives you an introduction into how New York grew into the behemoth that it is today. And then at the end, there's a very cool reveal where the subway doors that are projected on the wall open, like in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And you walk through there to get into the museum exhibits. There's galleries. The few that I remember, like the Honeymooner's Kitchen is in there in black and white, which was neat. There are some seats from the Ed Sullivan Theater that were there in 1964, and they have like a motif of the Beatles up there, and I think it was some mannequins or something, but you get to see like a couple of seats that are original to the Ed Sullivan Theater, and then there's just like different stuff all throughout from different eras of New York's history. And then and Broadway and film and all that. There's a dress from Lady Gaga and like stuff like that. Then you got up to the 3rd floor where you got to do the Soarin' ride. And the Soarin' over New York, I mean, honestly, there were parts of it that was better than the Disney ride.
Really?
Like I really, really enjoyed it. And as I said, I've done probably a half dozen. I think we did it in Branson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've done it in other places. There's one in Pigeon Forge, so I'm almost certain I did that one too. But like it was great. It was just a great experience. And then when you're done, there's a little area where you can walk outside and they have you in the Statue of Liberty's torch. That's the photo setting. Cool. And they take your picture. And the torch is just over like a road leading to like one of the streets leading to Times Square. But of course they put backgrounds around you. So my friend and I, what we did was recreate the handshake from the American Adventure, where our hands didn't really touch while we were standing in the Statue of Liberty's torch, which actually was like the main reason we went. We're like, hey, we can get this picture.
Yeah.
But we came out of there saying, man, what a great experience. So if you're in Manhattan, I do recommend that experience. And we had a little bit of time. We had originally planned to do a horse and carriage ride through Central Park because I think they're probably gone forever now. If they're still paused. There was a death on one of them like the week we were there.
Oh, geez.
So it got canceled. Somebody was thrown from a horse and the person didn't make it. But they ended them in Philadelphia like 4 or 5 years ago, and I had gotten to do them here. But they're going to stop them in New York. Yeah. So no more Central Park carriage rides. And so we were like, oh, let's do one last time. And so we didn't get to do that. And I was like, all right, what are we going to do now? And we ended up at the Plaza because my friend wanted to see where the Eloise tea is and all. We went into the gift shop, recreated some scenes from Home Alone. And then I just walked up at the Palm Court, which is the main like fancy restaurant there where they do the Eloise tea. And I walked up, I said, do you by any chance accept walk-ups? He's like, yeah, at the bar, you can go sit down.
Oh,
so we sat down. And, had a nice champagne lunch and a turkey club that was off the menu. And because we were a month late celebrating our mutual birthdays, they brought us out a dessert. And the dessert happened to be chocolate mousse, which you can never go wrong when you bring me a chocolate mousse dessert. And I just thought that was like the coolest thing. Like we had the nicest lunch there. It was the perfect way to kind of end it. And then we made a quick stop back at the Disney store in Times Square to pick up a few things we did want to buy that we didn't want to lug around the day before. Took that subway shuttle one last time. And then made our way to Penn Station and boarded Amtrak and took Penn Station all the way to Trenton. And then I got off in Trenton.
Took a pee?
And this is there. No, I did. I warned my friend. I'm like, if you have to go, use the one on the Amtrak train.
That's right.
Got to tell you, not much better.
Nope, they're not.
Not much better, but better. But not much better. Anyway, so we get off the train and over to the parking garage at Trenton. And I forgot which floor my car was on. So we went to each floor of the parking garage except the one my car was on.
Oh, man.
So by the time we found it, I knew I parked right outside the elevator. And we were in full panic mode. And I'm pulling up my Hyundai app and I'm like, it says the car's right here. Like it's where we are. And we found the car. And I made one pit stop on the way back to Bluebell. And that was out near Levittown, Pennsylvania. It had always been on my list at Walt Disney Elementary School, which they erected between 53 and 55. And Walt himself came at some point to visit the school. I have the news article of him dedicating it or making an appearance at it. So it was the height of the Disneyland TV show and all that. And so yeah, that was my summer outside of Bluebell. But you went much further, Todd.
I did go much further. So, gentlemen, you followed along. I did send some photos during the trip, but we took off for Zurich in mid-June. Went over there, and if anybody's been to Zurich before, it's really, really nice. But on the food side of things, Brian, I tried the veal and mushroom with the roasty, which was just fantastic. That's the potatoes and the veal and the mushroom sauce, which was just so good. You can get it with chicken if you're not a veal fan. So we rode a little funicular, and then we took the boat on Lake Zurich, which was really nice. Which is a steamboat, by the way. So if you ever go there,
you got to tell people what the funicular is in case they don't.
A funicular, yes, a funicular is very popular in Europe. It is a semi-train, semi-elevator that goes up generally on a very steep angle, and very often the seats are staggered up so that it can go up the steep incline, and they're generally pulled up by a cable, and as one goes up, the other one goes down, and the two cars meet in the middle and
it's like
get
Pittsburgh,
onto a
right?
passing. Is there one in Pittsburgh?
The incline in Pittsburgh, right?
Oh, is that what it's called? Hold on, let's see.
Oh yeah, the Duquesne Incline.
Yeah. It's like
and there's one in Johnstown. That's how the workers used to get back and forth to work. They would
that's exactly
ride the incline.
And now the incline is different because it's a trolley car all straight, right? They're not staggered down. So if you look at, so it looks like the Monongahela has one that is staggered, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So
very cool.
Thank you, Hal. I should do that. So we went to the Lindt Chocolate Factory, which is a very, it's a commercialized experience.
Todd loves a factory tour.
Well, it's not so much of a factory tour as like, this is how we're, making chocolate. But they have this machine where you just go up and you put your hand underneath it, and this arm comes down inside this tube and breaks a piece of chocolate off and drops it into your hand. So everybody's just standing there, putting their hands out, getting a piece. So you can eat as much chocolate as you want.
Did you feel like you were at Willy Wonka's in any way?
No, not at all. It like I said, it was very, very, very commercial.
Nobody fell into the river of chocolate and got sucked up through the tubes.
We've been on a Willy Wonka kick here. My son's obsessed with the Gene Wilder one, so I just it's.
Well, that's the only one anyone should watch.
So just have to tell
you are the music maker and the dreamer of dreams, JT.
He has randomly in the summer. He's 7. He'll go. Stop, don't, come back. Just like monotone voice.
But we went to the Swiss National Museum, which was really, really nice. I highly recommend that. Went to the Zurich Zoo, and it was the first couple days just getting ourselves acquainted to the time change. So there wasn't a lot of craziness, but, and then we flew Edelweiss Air, my first time on Edelweiss Air. We flew over the Alps to Sardinia. So we landed in Olbia. For those not familiar where Sardinia is, it's off the west coast of Italy. It is part of Italy. 3 major airports. We were in the northeast corridor where Olbia is. And very, very arid. It was really surprising, but gorgeous temperatures, turquoise beaches, no humidity, breezes blowing in all the time. It was fabulous. And I don't know if I might have shared this picture with you, gentlemen, but we went to bed because we got there in the dark. And I had no idea, I'm like, I think it's going to be pretty outside. And we woke up and this was the view that we were welcome to on top of the on top of the villa where we stayed. So
I've seen better.
So a lot of yachts and stuff. So we went to a couple things, Porto Cuervo. We went to Porto Rotondo. We went to the grocery store, got our food and ate,
Porto grocery store.
Porto grocery store. Yeah.
Did you get any sardines?
No, but I did. I'll talk about the little fish in a little bit. We had little fish. So, we hit a couple wineries and also went to these old Roman ruins, which was pretty cool. And the pasta. Oh, the pasta. I mean, here, I'll drop a photo of some of this pasta. Brian.
Sometimes Todd sent us pictures of food and it looked like the ingredients of a meal. And he's like, oh no, this is the meal.
This is the meal. It's not taken apart. Right. So, so we stayed in a town called Goffo Aranci, and, it's an old fishing village that's being converted, and it's really, really upcoming. So they've got this gorgeous palm tree lined harbor by the water, and the food is just absolutely incredible. So I made it a point to swim in a lot of beaches in Sardinia. So they are crystal clear blue waters. Some of them rival Caribbean beaches. They're really, really amazing. So one day we're at a beach and we're like, oh, we're hungry. And there's a restaurant on the beach and there's just got these sails over it. And I've got my fried calamari, my drink, and it was fantastic. So, and then one day we took we got a boat. It was a full day. It was so cheap. It was, in all things included, being that it was all inclusive for €150 each. You were on this boat all day. They fed you. You had drinks. They made pasta. And they took us to all these islands near La Maddalena up on the north coast. And gentlemen, I think I've showed you these pictures before, but this is let me drop one in here. The color of the water was just
that's $172 each American, by the way. Just
thank you.
That's an important frame of reference.
But this was the color of the water everywhere we stopped, and it was just beautiful. So I'm snorkeling, right? And I get out and I swim like, I don't know, 150 feet over to this little...
Looks like Typhoon Lagoon.
I swim out to this little thing, and I got my GoPro on, and I come back, and I'm like, throw something into the water. And all of a sudden, all the fish come over, and I'm surrounded by about 200 fish just swimming right around me, eating the cookies and crackers. It was really cool. So
you can't do that, Todd. They
love Oreos, man. They love them. Can't get enough.
Typical American, just throwing cookies in the water.
No, because you know what?
Who put cookies in the water?
You're not supposed to do that.
Yes, you are. The Sardinians did it ahead of us and said you can do it. So. Then, gentlemen, we went to this one port, and I got to tell you, I felt like this port was the inspiration for Disney Springs. It had gorgeous blue waters and all these wonderful buildings and stuff. But so a couple food things to talk about. I had wanted to try Sardinian red shrimp, and turns out that I had it cooked, and they were okay cooked, but they also give them to you raw. And it's very creamy, and you put a little salt and pepper on it. It's delicious, a little lemon. And then I tried a giant prawn raw, and that was similar consistency, but sweet. It was really, really good. All right. So one of the funny food things that happened, I would go to this pizza restaurant. I'm like, I really want a calzone today. Like that calzone sounds good. So I order this thing, and I'll drop this picture here. And I had no idea. It had like prosciutto and mozzarella and sauce and everything inside. And it was called frito calzone, essentially. It turns out, now look at that. Does that look fried to you? That was fried like almost like a McDonald's apple pie.
Yeah, it does.
Right? And it had no
Fried
oil
dough,
on it. It was so good.
Now, did you eat that salad?
I did. I know it's kind of.
Right, I was hoping. You say no. That's how it came.
Yeah.
It's three tomatoes and like 7 sprigs of lettuce.
There's not much.
We're looking at.
That's great.
All right, I'm going to drop one more image. So you guys were talking about Buc-ee's earlier, right? We're talking about Buc-ee's. So in Italy, there's this thing called Auto Grill. Oh, it's their rest stop. Where we were staying, there were only two, and we went to both because they make these mini magnets of Italian products. So you can get a mini muto, you can get a mini thing of pasta, a mini Campari, a mini
found
Aperol.
the Italian magnetron.
I was going to say, didn't we just talk about this?
Yeah.
Did you get some?
We got one of everything that we could find. They're on our fridge on the side. So that was really cool.
Souvenir Italia.
Yeah, that's exactly. Oh, I forgot to tell you too. We were flying. It was a great day when we flew from Zurich to Sardinia, and I'm looking off the left side of the plane. I'm like, I'm following along on my little map. I'm like, okay, that's Pisa, and I was able to zoom in. I didn't know where the hell the Leaning Tower was, but I did get it it's very small, but it is in an image, which is pretty cool. So we were there a week. Then we took EasyJet. I was a little nervous about that, but it was better than Ryanair. That's all I can say. Much, much better than Ryanair. And we flew to Nice, France, which I had never been to. Absolutely gorgeous city. Beautiful architecture. It wasn't touched during the World War. It's really interesting. You think like, oh, it's on the Mediterranean. People are the beaches. The beaches are just giant stones that they brought in. There is no sand. So the beaches that do have sand are actually man-made, but they have these wonderful restaurants. And if you want to go sun yourself on the beach, you rent lounge chairs, but they're on this teak boardwalk with the umbrellas over it and everything, because you can't really relax on rocks, but people try to make do and bring their own things. We went to 3 wineries in Provence, which was really nice. We got to go out and see some working vineyards and taste wine. I think we sampled 15 wines that day. We did not drive. This was a little tour. Then we made perfume and cologne and cologne for all 3 of us. Made our own little cologne stuff. And
so what do you smell like, Todd? I'm curious.
I called mine terroir.
He's got a musky Victor Mature-like scent.
I'd have to go back and look at the recipe. They keep your recipe on file because if you like it, you can just call them up and they'll make more for you, which is really cool.
That's one of the plot points in the sequel to Hannibal, the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. He goes to a perfume counter in an Italian department store and has like custom made perfume or cream sent to her, and that's how they find him. They find that like they use like actual whale blubber or something in the thing, and they're like, there's only 2 places in the world that do it, and they track Hannibal down by the contents of the cream that he sends to Clarice Starling.
Todd, I have to ask, did you make your own scent or did Amy make your scent?
All 3 of us made it.
See, I would think you should make a scent that you liked for Amy and vice versa.
Well, we were constantly going back and forth and asking.
Why do I smell like an everything bagel?
Because I love everything bagel.
But yeah, so we did that, and we then took a little a Citroen tour. Did you see that, JT? Did you see the car on Facebook that we were in?
I did see it, and I gathered you weren't driving. They had a driver.
No, you're not. Her name was Brigitte, was the car's name, and you were not allowed to drive Brigitte, but I sat in the front, all seats, and we toured all around Nice, up and down the Riviera, looking out over all these different areas. Really, really neat tour to do. It was a 2-hour drive. You're going through these little tunnels in the side of the mountain, and you climb all the way up and overlook into Nice and all these different areas. And there's castles up there. It's just an awesome experience. So
that's cool.
We also went to Old Town where I bought a Madeleine. Have you ever had that, Brian? The Madeleine, which is the little cake? Yeah, the little cakey thing. It's with orange
wonderful
syrup. That was really good. We went to some olive oil stores and truffle stores and all that, but there's another funny food story. So it was a little lost in translation here. So there's a really nice salad on the menu, and I said, "Can you put the dressing on the side?" This is the picture I sent you with the little fish, because it was chicken, egg, bacon, and anchovies on a plate. And you're like, "What the hell are you eating?" And that was when I said on the side. They put everything on the side and just gave me a bowl of lettuce with dressing on it. So that went a little backwards. So. We'll get to the part that JT's going to be interested. You went to Monaco, right, JT?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So we did the F1 walking tour, which was really cool. We walked the entire track. Now, the race, it was 2 weeks prior to us arriving there, but I didn't realize that F1 has no control over the race and the setup. The club, the AMC or whatever, that's based in Monaco, which you need to have, like, even if you're a member, you have to wear a suit and tie in there.
Okay.
And the AMC, this, whatever it is, motor club, they own all the stanchions and they own all the parts, and they, on every single part of the track, you look down and there's these little metal covers that say AMC on it. Those covers come out, and that's the special hole in the special place where the stanchions and all the walls go in. They are the ones that set it up. F1 comes 2 weeks before the race and says, "Oh yeah, this looks good. We're okay with this."
Oh, funny.
So they put it all together. And what's amazing, it takes 5 months to set up for it, 3 weeks to tear down for a weekend event, which is crazy.
We can kind of attest to that.
Yeah. I mean 5 months.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like us getting ready for Retro Magic,
that's
right?
the thing.
Yeah.
It's only 3 hours to tear it down.
I did not do a guided tour, but I remember walking, as much as
Parts
the track, because you could just find the turn marks, the red and white hash marks on the curbs, and you're like, oh, like I didn't even
those
know
don't
that.
change through the year.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait, this is where they freaking drive, and then you start wandering around and stuff. It's a cool city.
It is. The podium was still up. I just sent you a picture of that. The podium was still up. And we walked all the things. We got to see where pit lane is and all that. And then because the race was fresh, all the track was covered at the high speed portions with tire marbles. And tire marbles is when the tire is starting to degrade. It comes off at like 250 degrees and splats on the ground. So it's all over the place, and you can just scrape up a piece of an F1 tire, which is crazy. Yeah. So we even went into the tunnel and walked all through there. So it was really neat. They were setting up for another event. They were setting up for a horse event. Longines was sponsoring something. Conlon got himself an autograph hat, which was cool. So he got a really cool hat.
Who autographed it?
He got a Lando Norris autograph hat from the race that we went to last year. So he was able to get a 2025 Silverstone hat, which was really cool.
So Lando is an actual name?
Lando Norris.
Lando
is
Norris.
British.
Yep.
Huh. So Lando Calrissian is not the only Lando.
He's not the Land. Right.
Huh.
But they both can do the Kessel run in 12 parsecs because Lando's pretty quick. We had a really good time. We flew home through Heathrow.
Wait, did he meet Lando, or the hat was just?
No, the hat had been pre-autographed. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we got the COA and all that stuff. So, but it was still neat because he had been chasing after a Lando autograph. So,
that's cool. Now, did you see the casino from James Bond up there?
We did. We went past the Monte Carlo casino. It's so funny because most people don't want to go in. So you stand there, and Brian, much like the artwork you were talking about, there's just this crowd out front the casino. They're not going to go in, and they just like run up the steps and they wave and take their picture, and then they go back down again. So
I always think of Monaco as Wolf of Wall Street.
We're going to Monaco!
And then they crash the yacht out in the ocean.
We landed into Heathrow. We were coming in, and I was like, this guy's coming in a little hot. And I could sense something with the engines, and then we're just about to touch down, and there goes the engines ramped up. There's this, massive acceleration, and also take off again. And I remember I was chatting with you guys. I'm like, we went around because the Swiss didn't get off the runway in time. The Swiss Air flight ahead of us, so we had to go around. But that's normal operations at Heathrow. It's always a joy. So, but no, it was a great trip, and now, gentlemen, we're all back, and I guess we have to plan other episodes Disney World related, but we'd love to hear from you guys, and if this was fun, we can certainly talk about other topics other than Disney from time to time, as Brian pointed out.
We got a lot of great suggestions of not like full episodes, but just like stuff for us to kind of riff on that people would like us to talk about.
And I'll tell you, I'm going through my day going, oh, this would be a good thing to talk about, or this would I'd go over this, and so not that we're going to change what the podcast is.
That's a show. That's a show right there.
That's a shirt.
That's a shirt. Your car didn't start this morning. That's a show.
And a show. Yeah, we're going to talk about how that stuff.
I will say, JT mentioned seeing the big boy. It was a big event here, that the largest locomotive ever built. One of the 40 of them that they built. The only one that still runs, came through and was here coming in right before the 4th of July, sat here in Philadelphia on July 4th. I also have to mention another one of our listeners who I won't name, because I don't want to get his friends all asking, saying, hey, why didn't you invite me? But I did have a very, very kind listener reach out and offer me VIP parking to go see the big boy when it was in the Philadelphia Naval Yard, where it stayed for the 4th of July weekend. I demurred on the invitation because, one, it was like 140,000 degrees all of 4th of July weekend here in Philadelphia. So I did none of the Philadelphia-based things, although I enjoyed watching them all on YouTube as the Philly captain and other people chronicled all the stuff the city was doing.
I can't believe you skipped the 3-hour line to get a free hoagie from Wawa.
That was the worst. I thought I sent you guys. I did sent you guys a link to it. They're handing out like these like hoagies that were made 9 hours ago, being handed out to people waiting in a line for a hoagie that you can go pay $6 for. Like, just go buy the one that you want. But I didn't do any of those things. But I passed up on driving into the city that weekend to see it. And I very, very much appreciate the offer. And then I was going to go on Monday when it was leaving town to head to JT to like see, because it came right through where I live. It was just a very busy day at work. So I ended up like, I didn't get over to see it, like chew by.
It really led to like me being annoyed from being in the car so long. You know, I've been in the car with my kids, I feel like, for like 3 weeks, it seems like. And getting to the big boy, which was supposed to be like a 30-minute drive, it was an hour and a half of driving to find a spot. And then I missed it because I was going to catch it on the inward to the station. So then we waited and found it elsewhere. And it was like one of those loudness feelings of being with the whistle and the train. It like physically hurt as it went by. It was that's crazy. Loud. Wow. And I didn't think of it because there was a lot of people around doing it. Everybody's putting their coins down on the rail.
Oh, yeah.
So my wife pulled out a couple quarters and pennies and put them on there. So I have big boy crushed pennies, you know, speaking of Disney there. That's
nicely done.
Yeah, so they're
you guys
sitting
didn't
there.
derail the train. I can't believe it.
It won't derail the train. We used to do it with when the old New Jersey Transit ones used to run through Ocean City, New Jersey. We would put pennies and coins on the track, and it just smashes them into, it flattens them
out. Yeah. My dad went when it was returning outside of Philly. He lives near Brian, and I
saw him today,
which is just crazy. Brian's, just hang out with my dad.
So I'm in a parking lot today. I'm like, I think that's Todd's dad. I sent him a picture and he goes, yeah, that's my dad.
That's my father.
My dad said something very similar to you, JT, where it was just like there was this thunderous roar. He's like, I can't put my finger on it, but it was so crazy and so deep and thunderous. So
yeah, I didn't kind of connect, like, first the crowd. I didn't gather how many or think there'd be that. There were like 10,000 people in Rocky River, Ohio, which is like the whole town's not, I feel like, not 10,000 people. And then just the amount of people crowding around a train track with this 2 million pound thing coming by. Yeah. You're like, should I? You don't know, because I mean, I don't know how much I don't hang out around trains that much. And I'm just like, is this too close? Am I going to see it? And at one point, the guy stopped the train near us in Cleveland and like yelled at people for being too close. Like,
oh, wow.
That's how, like,
that was a problem. A lot of places was the people got like, there's one where it's like the guy like puts his phone out like in the path of the train to try to get like the oncoming shot, like he's shooting a D.W. Griffiths film or something, and then like pulls it in. And
I saw a guy, he put his GoPro on in between the rails, and so the train drove over his GoPro.
No way they let him do that.
I mean, you think about it, like you could find a spot where the big boy's going, and it's just there's going to be nobody around. I mean, it was just kind of centered around. Like, that's what we were trying to find. I go, nobody will be over here in this random spot of the train track. There was 500 people near us, like, just because they found a road that led to the train track,
I saw a video from that week. Someone had a drone hovering over the tracks, and they misjudged it, and the train ran right into the drone.
Oops.
I'm okay with that.
Oops.
I'm okay with that. That's a good, that video will last forever.
We kind of knew it was coming, though, because it was this connection of, like, everything Northeast Ohio. I'm like, we go, hey, there's the blimp. I'll bet you the blimp's over the big boy. And then you could see the blimp following the big boy, down the...
Yeah. I'll say that the cool thing about it was when we did our bicentennial episodes, we talked a lot about, the 76 celebration and how homespun everything was and the town parades. And so there was a lot. I mean, at least where I live, there was a lot of America 250 going on from town to town around here. But coming out to watch this big old train pass by was very much that's the stuff we saw in the recollections of 1976.
Yeah.
And so it was very old school, and there was a lot of that going on. They weren't handing out giant hoagies all day back then. But they did have, there was the Liberty train, right? Ran across the country, visited all 50 states it didn't visit Hawaii. They would have had to sail there. But, the contiguous U.S. And I want to say on the big boy, some of the cars were from the Liberty train, if I remember correctly. Like
there were some neat restored cars on there.
Yeah.
As I saw it, I'm like, man, I wish I could just like go for like an hour ride on this thing, and then I'll just jump off.
Right. So it was very neat. I'm glad, and maybe it'll be coming to you. I mean, it's still crossing the country, right? So maybe it'll come to a theater near you soon.
Yeah, it's on its way. It's heading there, but yeah, it's trudging along at 25 miles an hour.
It does. Nothing ever comes up this way for that stuff. That's the unfortunate part. But would have loved to see it, but maybe next time.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. I like the little different, little change of pace for a little while. So
yeah. And the listeners, send us email about what you did for your vacation. Because I think we're curious about what y'all did too. And maybe there's some things that we should add to our itinerary. And we could read some of those letters in the next episode.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And if you have ideas for other off-topic episodes, not that we're running out. Don't worry, this is not the end of Retro.
No, our next one's going to be about the Empress Lily.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of good stuff. I've been reading up and doing some research through our archive, which has been fantastic.
And if you haven't bought tickets for Retro Magic yet, it is the first weekend in February 6th, 7th, in Anaheim, California, which was a sleepy orange grove.
There are tickets available, but they are moving. So
they are moving. There is a limited number remaining.
Correct.
So it'll be sold out by, we could start taking bets on wagers, but I would guess
at least February 2nd now.
It will definitely be sold out by February 2nd, but I think we're probably looking at, once we start announcing guests, stay tuned.
I will add too, we did get the final and last Retro Magic episodes on YouTube. So if you would like to sit down, find the playlist for Retro Magic 10 on our YouTube channel, you can relive the entire event. We do have on there the recaps from our favorite vloggers, some podcasts we did. Just everything's in that playlist, so hit it up.
I've watched from start to finish probably a half dozen of them now. And without the trauma of actually staging it, it's really nice to go back and watch it and see how much we enjoy it. And the other night when you were posting the end, how much I appreciate the kind words our friend Tony Passero said about us, and making sure we got that cool picture with the whole crowd behind us.
That's a good picture.
And then Tammy coming up, although we were totally unprepared to introduce her. You recovered nicely, JT, and Tammy came up and sang Remember the Magic for us. It was really neat to watch the send-off at that one. And then some of the panels I just didn't catch all of. It was nice to go back and watch.
Yeah, and speaking of Tammy, I think this probably will get out by then, but she's got her 15th anniversary live celebration is August 2nd from 1 p.m. to 7.
On YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube. Lots of great guests, including most of us who are going to be there. She's got charity going, all kinds of stuff. So check out Tammy Tudke's 15th anniversary live show, August 2nd.
All right. Anything else, gentlemen? How are you? Are you going to make a T-shirt like "This is what I did summer" and they can like little check boxes on the back that people can take a Sharpie to? You know,
we should do that. We did. I want to say I did post a couple of new shirts, and I can't remember what they are now off the top of my head because that was like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, look for some new merch.
How about I survived the Wilderness Lodge without AC? You know, make that shirt for your.
That would be great.
The true wilderness.
Yeah. Just sweating to the oldies.
Sweating to the oldies.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So excellent. Well, thank you for joining, gentlemen. This was fun. I'm glad we're all back safe from our vacations. I'm not going anywhere for a while.
I have some of our Retro Magic and listener friends visiting in August and in September. Okay. Different friends. Okay. So I'll be doing some of my nickel tours for friends that'll be in town over the next couple of months. But otherwise, I stay put, and you can find me most days at the pool.
All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you very much as always. Great show, and I look forward to hearing from our listeners. Write us if you can at podcast@retrowdw.com, and
or you can call us and leave us a voicemail at 978-71 retro.
Right, leave us a message. We'll get you on the air. And if you can, leave us a shout out on iTunes or podcast or wherever your favorite thing is. Favorite podcasting app is. Leave a message out there for us or a review. And we will see you next month we'll see you soon. How's that? We'll see you real soon.
We'll see you in August. Yeah. We'll do an August episode.
With the Empress Lily. And hope you guys had a great summer vacation. And maybe you're listening to this on your drive back from somewhere or your flight back. But thanks for listening. And Brian, take us out.
Follow the Lake Buena Vista Historical Society on most social media platforms at LBV History and on the web at lbvhistory.org. For all things Retro Disney World, including exclusive merchandise and our digital film and image archive, visit us on the web at retrowdw.com and follow us on major social media platforms at retrowdw. And follow our hosts, Todd McCartney on X at WDWMS, Hal Bowers on social media at GoAwayGreen, JT Cougar on X at LS1JT, on YouTube at Rubber City Motoring, and on the web at rubbercitymotoring.com. And you can find me on most major social media platforms at Brian P. Miles. Retro Disney World is the monthly podcast of the Lake Buena Vista Historical Society, a nonpartisan, nonprofit, tax-exempt 501c3 organization, and is not affiliated in any way with the Walt Disney Corporation or any of its subsidiary or affiliated entities.
Tune in, move on. Bust out. Gotta get up, gotta get out, gotta get down. Time to go out and have some fun. Tune in, move on. Bust out. Gotta break away from the city day, gotta get away on the summer vacation. Tune in, move on. Bust out.
I just like that Todd thought there was a cake I hadn't tried yet.